So here we go, we're into the evening session of day 5 of these 2025 World Paralympics Championships in New Delhi at the Jawaharlal Nehru Stadium, the JLN Stadium, right towards the central southeast of the city. It's another big evening, lots of finals. It's going to be a longer session than we've had so far this week. We'll be with you for the next 3.5 hours or so, plus, as we have lots of track finals to come through this evening. Lots of sprints at this JLN Stadium. They had the Commonwealth Games here in 2010. Asian Games it was built for in 1982. Real landmark venue. The track went down a few weeks ago. Nice enough evening. This time yesterday, it had been lashing for hours and hours. Not going to do that now. We've got sunshine, somewhat temperate, 29 Celsius, that'll do, and barely a breeze. 1st of October as well, eve of a big national holiday. Birthday of Gandhi. So 15 finals to be decided tonight. First of them underway in 5 minutes' time. It'll be the women's long jump T38. So that includes the likes of Karen Palameke, Maddie Down, Angie Mekhi as well, this sensational 16-year-old who's already the 100 meters champion with the finals of the men's 100 meters T34. That's the coordination impairment wheelchair and the women's equivalent too. So that means Hannah Cockcroft going for another gold. Men's 400 T52 in the wheelchair racing, the T38 400 also, and the T20 men's 800 meters, the intellectual category. Ryan Medrado going in that men's 400 T38. Men's 5000 T13 as well, which will be a bit of a trek. Jared Clifford going for glory in that. He got the bronze in the 15. Alexander Kostin as well. And we'll wrap up, as you saw, with the women's 100 T63. The T11s and the T64. So we've got some of the best blade runners around. Hello from Will Downing. Steph Reeves with us. And Tolson Tollett will bring us through the men's discus F57.
Yes, the men's discus throw F57. Good evening to all. This is qualification. The final will be tomorrow evening in the evening session for day 6. So there are 12 who are going in this. It's just the 4 best performers who do go through to the final tomorrow evening. That's Preda of Romania who's up in the seat at the moment. He's getting himself sorted out. Just a quick reminder regarding this event, there is a warm-up period that the athletes get before they do actually go into taking their throws. So it is rather laborious in a way, in that chair you can see there. The athlete has to be strapped up in a comfortable position. He'll get help from the officials if need be. The straps are placed on when he is happy with where he is in that process. Then we get into the practice throws, and then after that, once the clock counts down, we'll get into all 6 throws for the athlete. We'll go at the same time. Just makes things a bit easier than the olden days where there was a few throws and then a change, or 1 throw at a time. It just became, tedious. It's probably the best word to use. So there are 12 who are due to start in this. Day 5, it's been a pretty special morning. It's a very packed schedule, by the way, this evening. We have loads to look forward to. 15 finals. Latest finish so far in the evening session. Now, Preda is in the chair at the moment. It was due to be Lakazo, the Cameroonian, who is number 1 on the list, but he's not up, so Preda takes his position. We'll try and find out whether there's been a non-starter in Cedric Lakazo of Cameroon. So I think we're just about ready to go. (32.22), the lifetime best of Inat Preda. He's waiting to get the green light to head off. His season best, by the way, is 2 centimetres shy of his lifetime best, 32.20. So there we go with throw number 1. Now this competition does include Jorkenbeck Odelov, who's the silver medalist from the javelin already here at these World Paralympics Championships. Odelov's also the Paralympic champion in javelin. There hasn't been an F57 discus, by the way, since the 2017 World Championships. F56 has been running, but there's been no F57. So nice to see this back in. And it's been a different championships in a way, Steph, hasn't it? Because we've seen a lot of people come through who we haven't necessarily seen before. So a clear sky and conditions absolutely perfect for the women's long jump T38.
Keeping with the themes of debuts, she made hers back in London in 2012 as a teenager, the youngest member of the British athletic squad. And here she is, Luca Eckler, 26 from Hungary, coming in as a world record holder, 3-time world champion, 2019, 2023, 2024. She is here for the 4P2. This is going to be a very interesting competition to watch for 2 reasons. The first being, this is pretty much a repeat of the Paris final, and my goodness, in that Paris final, positions 3 to 5, the distance separating the athletes was just 1 centimeter. That was because Karen Palamehi, who got the bronze medal, jumped 4.99. Olivia Breen, who finished 4th, also jumped 4.99. And Chen Zimo of China jumped 4.98. Now, the reason that Breen and Palamehi didn't share that bronze medal is because, unlike the high jump, the officials then looked to see what their backup jump was, what their next furthest jump was, and unfortunately, Breen was just so unlucky to miss out. But the other reason this is going to be really interesting is because you get a shot right there of Mr. Aston Moore in the middle, in the blue, Olivia Breen's coach. But the other reason this women's long jump is going to be really interesting is because straight after this long jump final, 3 of the athletes are going to have to knit across the track because they are competing in the women's T38 200 meters. You can see audience members still employing different strategies to keep themselves cool. Athletes doing the exact same thing. Lots of cold water.
Hello.
We've seen a few ice vests going around. The nice thing about these evening sessions is that the sun starts to go down around about 6 o'clock. Just taking the edge off the heat. If you were with us last night, you would have seen that Neeraj Chopra was in the audience watching the men's T64 javelin take place. The superstar in India, the most famous athlete in track and field, if you go off social media stats, just under 10 million followers. And he was here ready to cheer on the para-athletes. He was there to watch Sumit win the gold medal by a massive margin, by almost 30 meters in the rest of the field. And actually had an interesting conversation after. Neeraj described him as a shur, which is a lion among athletes. And Sumit then said, actually, all para-athletes are lions. And we spoke about some of the reasons why he was throwing, not just to win, but Sumit wanted to prove a point. He wants to throw as far as possible because he often hears people say that para-athletes aren't as good as quote-unquote regular athletes. And he is on a mission to show that he can throw as well. He wants to prove that that's not true. And certainly last night with an entire stadium behind him hanging around.
Just a quick update on the men's discus throw F57 qualification. Prada, who was first up, who we saw on our screens a few minutes ago, his 3 attempts have finished 29.58 for the Romanian with his first attempt. So that is him done. So he'll now wait for the remaining 11 athletes to complete their goes. And then from there, we'll work out who's going through as those top 4 out of the 12 through to the actual competition, which is tomorrow evening, session on day 6 in the evening, men's discus throw, F57.
One of the other things to note today, Jonathan Brunel is in the crowd, by the way, the ace high jumpers. There were a whole lot of medal ceremonies this morning, which ran for about 2 or 3 hours because they all had to be called off yesterday due to the very heavy rains.
So there has been a non-starter, by the way, when I was talking about the Cameroonian Cedric Lekezo in the men's discus throw F57 qualification. So he didn't line up. Prada went first, so there's only 11. So 4 people through out of 11 in that men's discus throw F57 when we get going. The women's long jump T38 final, you can see at the bottom of your screen there. Don't worry, you haven't missed anything. They're still warming up at the moment, and there's been no jumps as such, and we'll get you back to the action as soon as we can. No doubt the long jump will be a event we'll want to keep a tab on as the evening session goes on. So much to look forward to this evening. So much to look forward to. In fact, we finished about half an hour later than we normally would because there is so much happening. 186 medal events over the course of the 9 days of competition here. The weather yesterday has seemed to have cleared. We haven't had any of that rain today. I don't want to put mockers on it, as normally what happens when I say something, but there is possibly going to be a little bit of rain over the next couple of days. Hopefully it comes between sessions like yesterday so it doesn't affect any of the field events especially. That will be more of an issue than the track.
Now just to update you on this women's long jump, we are running a little bit behind. It was meant to start 6 minutes ago. So far, no athletes have gone. There is a lot of activity happening right now along the There is still a giant orange cone sitting on the runway, which lets the athletes know it's currently shut. Athletes just working really hard to make sure they maintain their focus, and the officials do what they need to ensure that. Pardon me, just a quick mic switch right there.
And here is Saad Saad of Bahrain in the men's shot put F32. So this is just getting underway. We've got 10 in this. This is coordination impairment, and it is seated coordination impairment. So all of the efforts are happening at once. And Saad Saad from Bahrain getting us up and running in that. So he is our early leader as we go back to the women's long jump, which may be getting underway shortly.
Apologies if there was a little bit of silence on the women's long jump. We are just switching out some mics. However, if you tuned in, ready for them to go at 5:05, we're running a little bit late, but don't worry, you haven't missed anything as of yet. Officials were just doing some work on that long jump board. Brose of Germany kicking things off, and unfortunately she has started off with a foul, which, if you've been with us watching the long jump for the past few days, it has been one of the challenges for the athletes. Runways so important because they are the thing that sets up your entire jump. You can be a stunning long jumper, have beautiful technique, but if you don't have any speed behind it, you are not going to jump far. Palamecki just waiting patiently on the runway for her first attempt. Now we all know what a fantastic sprinter Palamecki is. She is the world record holder in the 100, 200, and the 400. Now she is an excellent long jumper, but this is definitely on the edges of her comfort zone. For now, anyways. She was bronze in Paris in the long jump, gold in the 100 and the 400 meters. And you get a sense of just how dangerous her speed can be on the runway. All long jumpers have to be fast. They have to have the speed. But not all sprinters are good long jumpers, and that's because it is such a specific ability to be able, in a split second, put your foot down, change all of those force vectors, take that speed into vertical height, and send yourself into the pit.
So let's look at the current scores on the doors in this women's long jump at T38, and Maddie Down will be next to go.
Maddie Down made her Paralympic debut at just 16 years old. She finished a very respectable 6th place. in the long jump final. And she did it setting a personal best, which is such a great thing to see for an athlete coming out onto the world stage for the first time. Down, powering down that runway. Unfortunately, a red flag for that one as well. A little bit of disappointment for Maddie Down earlier in the week. Disappointed not to qualify for that 100-meter final. One of the nice things about having another event later in that week is you are able to channel all of that frustration, get it out of your system right away. She's coming in with a personal best of 4 meters 81, and she's been very near to that mark this season already. 4 meters 80, season's best. Chen Zimo of China. 3 athletes have gone so far. 2 have registered fouls. But that mark there, well behind the board, very safe. It can be a good strategy for the first round. It is good to get that first mark in, give yourself a mark on the board and know that you have the opportunity to build from there. But she's given up a lot of distance being so far behind that board. The whiteboard itself about 20 centimeters and she was behind that. Four meters 53, a season's best for Chen. As you can see there, Karen Palameke sitting at the top at the moment with 5 meters 19. And second is Chen. And up next, this is going to be exciting. Angie Mejia of Colombia, just 16, came in and absolutely stormed that 100-meter final. We all expected a Colombian to win. We just thought it was going to be Palameke. And what can that speed translate into on the runway? Oh, and that looked to be almost perfect on the board. She's just waiting to see the official gives it the white flag. That run was fast. That foot plant was good. The takeoff was good. Oh, this could be really interesting. Now, she's coming in with a personal best of 5 meters 28. Just 3 women this season have registered a mark above 5 meters. Iljan Metin of Turkey. Another athlete making her championship debut, 472, her lifetime best. I feel like I keep saying that about a lot of athletes recently, making their championship debut. Some making them because they're very young, some making them because they came into para-athletics a little bit later in life. And we tend to see this quite a lot in the World Championships that happens the year after the Paralympics. So many countries already focused and thinking about that next cycle, and it's so important for their new and upcoming athletes to be able to get that championship experience so that when it comes to the next Paralympic Games, they're ready to go, they know what they're doing, and they feel like they belong. Olivia Breen, 29, made her championship debut all the way back in London 2012 as a teenager. Oh, that was very close on the board for Breen. And it's given the white flag. That's a fantastic start. Now, she's not quite had the season that she has wanted so far. There's been some niggles, there's been some injuries, a concussion in April. All of it has meant that there's been quite a bit of disruption. She'll have been disappointed not to make that 100-meter final earlier in the week. But like I said, the thing about having 2 events is you can immediately channel all of that frustration and focus on what is to come. Olivia Breen kicks things off with a new personal best. I mean, she's normally smiling when you look at her, but to start off your world champs after a really difficult season, after perhaps a disappointing 100 meters by her standard, what a way to kick off her first round. This is Luca Eckler. She is the world record holder. She is the reigning Paralympic champ. She is the reigning world champion. And from that long bounding stride and those long legs and that height, you can see why. However, unfortunately, given the red flag. If you're new to long jump, the rules around that takeoff board are very, very specific. You can get as close as you want to it. You can see they have a white board followed by that blue segment. And if any part of your foot touches that segment, the jump is deemed to be a foul.
Just a quick update on the men's discus throw F57 qualification. Haida Salam of Saudi Arabia has had his 3 attempts, 35.98. He moves into first place. There are 11 going in that competition. That is the top 4 that go through to tomorrow night's final.
And we saw Sad's best effort in the men's shot put F32 for Bahrain, 5.19. He leads, long way to go.
Lots of action happening around all the field events. Broza of Germany started off with a foul. So important to get this next one in. And oh, I fear that 2 is going to be a foul, confirmed by the judges. Oh, you can see the frustration in the body language there. Now, there is a little bit of good news. Generally, when you are in this position, sitting on 2 fouls and heading into the 3rd round, there is a little bit of anxiety because there tends to be a cull after the first 3 jumps. Only the next 8 jumps able to move on to jumps 4, 5, and 6. However, with there being only 8 athletes in this field, no one has to worry about that, apart from the fact that you really do want to get a good mark in early on. Palomäki kicked things off with 5 meters 19. Another excellent jump. But again, she is giving up a lot of distance behind that board. Not even touching the takeoff board on that jump. I mean, that is a good 30 centimeters at least that she's given up. So whatever this registers at, add 30 centimeters to that and you get a sense of the potential. Now at her best, she is a 5.21 long jumper. Wow. Okay, so 5 meters 25. She was nowhere near the board. She's already set a personal best, and if she can just sort out that runway, get a little bit closer to that board, this could be a really good competition for Palomäki. Maddie Downs has done well there to adjust that runway. A foul on the first jump. Went back, had a conversation with her coach, adjusted that mark, and has done really well with her second jump to at least get one in. The thing is, once you get a jump in and once you've got that confidence in your runway, you can work into the competition and really start letting loose and letting things fly. Four meters 68 for down. She is on the board and she is now sitting in 4th position. Chen of China. Oh, she was building such great speed into that jump, and you just got a sense there in those last 4 to 5 strides. She could tell getting the sense that she was possibly going to be over, and she tried to chop that stride short. She was stuttering into it, and not only is she killing her speed when she does that, it ended up being a foul anyways. And it's really difficult for a coach when the athlete has done a stutter step into the board. They then don't know, okay, well, how much do I need to move that board back? How much do I need to move that runway back? Because that wasn't actually a true reflection of how she runs. So a difficult puzzle for her coach to solve right now and help her work through this. A 16-year-old phenom from Colombia. Speed and velocity, so important in the long jump, and we know that she has that in buckets. Long jump is essentially a practical demonstration of projectile motion. So the point at which the athlete takes off and launches themselves into the air, just like a projectile. The only thing affecting them is gravity. Mejia there, improving on that first round attempt. She is now into 5-meter territory. Now, a lot of the field events pretty much follow the rules of projectile motion. The difference is that in the shot put, the shot is the projectile. In the long jump, the athlete turns himself into the projectile. Metin there from Turkey getting the white flag. She's currently sitting in 6th position courtesy of a 4:43 in the first round. Championship debut for Metin. 4 meters 41 on that attempt. No change for her. And these championship debuts are a big deal. There are a lot of skills that athletes need to develop apart from just being physically good at their event. There's having the maturity to travel and deal with all the chaos that can sometimes happen in athletics.
So we move to the track for the first event there of the evening. The men's 400 metres T47, the opening heat of 2. Colin Malalea, silver medalist in Kobe last year at the World Championships. He was 7th at the Paralympic Games in Paris. We'll go in lane number 8. Luis Lopez, 24 years of age from Venezuela. The first major championship for him in lane 7. Uganda's Vensoir Kadu in lane 6. His lifetime best set this year at 51.79. Ayub Sadni, the world champion, not in this event, by the way. So it's much more open. Thomas de Mireille, bronze medalist in 2024 at the Paris Paralympic Games. Silver medalist back in 2020. And the bronze medalist from last year's World Championships in Kobe, Marafyon Murzalev of Uzbekistan. The Paralympic champion, Ayman Al-Hadoui, will go in heat number 2. So it's the first 3 that automatically qualify. Then we'll have the next 2 fastest across the 2 heats. We'll go through. So 2 will be sitting in the hot seats after this one. And then they'll have to wait to see if they can manage it. So 5 to go, 3 automatically through. T47, the upper limb deficiency category. And Malalea has been taken over straight away by Luis Lopez, who's gone straight past the South African. And he has the lead at the moment. But looking pretty good on the inside there is the Brazilian in Thomas de Moraes. At the moment, they're pretty similar to where they started from. There hasn't been a huge gain in any particular area, but it is Luis Lopez who leads as they move into the straight. Malalea in second position. And de Moraes of Brazil is in third. It's going to be Malalea who's going to come down and take it on the line from Lopez. In 48.75 is the time. Lopez in second, de Moraes in third. So there are your three that automatically go through. It wasn't the fastest of heats. I suspect the next one may have a bit more gas in it with the Paralympic champion going in it. Malalea, season best time for him, 48.76. Lopez, season best as well, in 49.28 for him. But that was a well spaced out run until they got down to about the last 100 metres.
Yeah, one of the nice things about parasport is that you're probably watching quite a few 400 meters if you've been sticking with us, just so that we can get through all of the categories. And one thing that you'll learn now about the 400 meters is that while, yes, it is a sprint, it's the longest of the sprints, there is an element of pacing. And you really have to get this right, because if you start too slow, you're never going to catch up. If you start too fast, that last 100 meters is really going to finish you off. And you can just get a sense there of the athletes that have run according to their race plan, that have run according to what their body physiology allows them to do.
It's one of those events where you have to hold your nerve. That's the main thing. So we have our three that have gone through. Malalea, Lopez and de Moraes as we head back to the long jump.
And it's a good thing that we are heading back, because I have some very big news to share with you. We will get to Karen Palomäki in just a minute, but a moment for Luca Eckler, who during that 400-meter race set a world record, beating her own world record, which used to stand at 5 meters 82. She has now jumped 5 meters 86. Karen Palomäki has just taken her third jump. At the moment, she is sitting in third place with 5 meters 24. That jump was a personal best of 5 meters 25. She has backed that up now with 5 meters 24. She is looking very consistent, but don't forget that jump in the second round, that PB that she did from about 30 centimeters behind the board. If she's looking perhaps a little bit frustrated at the moment, it's because she knows that there is a big jump waiting inside her. And just look at Maddie Down, looking to the crowd, calling for the clap. I mean, this is a 16-year-old who set a personal best in Paris. She loves to compete. She enjoys the crowd. It's really, really great to see an athlete that young making the most of the opportunity, and obviously doing her best and taking it quite seriously, but also having some fun. Maddie Down currently sitting in 5th position at 4 meters 68. Oh, and you can see that's why she's getting that hug. 2 PBs for both British athletes. Down, this is a big moment. This is her first jump over that 5-meter mark. Olivia Breen kicked off her competition with a personal best. Oh, and you can just see the joy there shared between the athletes. Chen of China, currently sitting in 6th position again. It'll be a valid jump. The problem just being it is so far behind that board. At her best, she is a 4.99 jumper. And she will know more than anyone how important every centimeter is in this competition. Missing out on a bronze medal in Paris by just 1 centimeter.
Well, there's no improvement with that jump for Chen. Her best remains 4:53, and she will stay in 6th position for now.
Action continuing with the second heat of the men's 400 meters T47. This is the single arm impairment category, and some really good athletes going in this, and only this, including the Paralympic champion Ayman El Houadi, and this is he. It's his first World Championship, the world record set last year in Paris, in getting the gold at the Paralympic Games of 46.65, and already bronze in the one here, as was the case in Paris 12 months ago. In 7 for India, the Asian Games champion 2 years ago in Hangzhou, Dilip Mahadu Gavit, 4th in the 4 2 years ago in the Worlds in Paris. In lane 6 for Italy, the European bronze medalist last time out in Bydgoszcz in 2021. Silver in the 4x1, bronze in the 2 and the universal relay, Riccardo Bagaini. In lane 5 for Cuba, the Pan Am champion. Very impressive in Santiago, Daniel Milanes. And a past master coming here for Indonesia. 5 gold medals in the Southeast Asian Games 2 years ago. He's 3 Asian Games medals. Nurferi Pradana of Indonesia. So you've got quite a few champions in this. And again, it is the top 3 and the next 2 fastest across the heats that will qualify. (51.31) for Muradolev in the previous heat. These are semi-finals effectively. And Kadu with that lifetime best for Uganda. He's the one under risk. 51.74, so keep an eye out for that. So Pradana in 4, Milanes 5, Bagaini 6, Gavit 7, El Hadawi 8. Men's 400 meters T47. So they're away, and El Hadawi on the outside. Worth watching, and Gavit as well. So we've got the Southeast Asian Games champion, the Pan Am champion, the Asian Games champion, the Paralympic champion. They are all different people as well. And El Hadawi in 8 and Gavit in 7 are well ahead of the rest. Milanes going well for Cuba at this stage. Also in lane 5 between Pradana and Bagaini. Pradana should have a bit of a kick in the closing straight, but it's a brilliant opening first half for El Hadawi and Gavit as they come in towards the closing straight. It's El Hadawi in front, it's Gavit in 2nd place, and it's Milanes in 3rd, and they're well clear. These 3 are going through. How much does El Hadawi want to push it? His world record is 46.65. He does ease up. 47.90. El Hadawi wins it. Gavit in 2nd, and Milanes in 3rd. It was swift. It was 47.93. It was a very tasty attempt at it. Put the foot down well, and Gavit was up with him. He had a little look around, not so much where the 2nd and 3rd places were, but where the rest were, and he wasn't under risk. And Milanes for Cuba, 48.54, a new lifetime best. Good going.
That was a great look at the start there. You can see the different ways that athletes use an implement to help them start. Arms are really important when you sprint. They're really important because they provide that counterbalance rotation for your legs, and when you are missing one, you still have to do that work, but you have to do it in a different way, using different parts of your body. And really, the only answer is you just have to have an exceptionally strong core.
El Hadawi in what is uniquely his first World Championship. He's the Paralympic champion, but he's not been in a Worlds before. It's quite remarkable. Got a good Grand Prix going in Marrakesh these days. So El Hadawi, he has made it, and made it well, along with Gavit and Milanes. Bagaini and Pradana will be very happy with how they've fared in 4th and 5th as they've been swept into the final as well. El Hadawi, he is the World record holder from Paris last year. That's an absolutely amazing time. Darkness beginning to fall over New Delhi. It's 5:40 in the evening. A little bit darkened on your screen. El Hidawi makes it. 47.93. Gavitt actually with a very, very impressive Asian record. He's through. Milanis with a lifetime best, and Baigini and Pradana make it as well.
This women's long jump has absolutely exploded. At the moment, we have had a world record. We've had 4 personal best. We have had a new America's record, along with a new member of the 5-meter club. I will update you on all of that. But this is the woman who has just reset the world record, and you can see she is in a mood to let it loose. A little bit too loose on that one, a foul, but she is absolutely flying down that runway at the moment. She knows she is in fantastic shape. 5 meters 86. I mean, that's not that far from the 6-meter barrier. She would be the first woman ever in the T38 category to cross it, if she can do that today. Oh, and you can just see how close that one was. And you can see where that 6-meter mark is. I mean, she was literally, I don't even think she was 2 centimeters over the board on that one. Well, we're just at the end of the 3rd round. Eckler from Hungary will have 3 more attempts to see. Well, I was going to say if she can make history. She's already made history with that world record, but could she be the first to go beyond that 6-meter mark? Now that America's record came courtesy of Angie Mejia of Colombia. Yes, that is a 16-year-old who we saw earlier this week take the field by storm, winning the gold. She came in with a personal best of 5 meters 28, laid down 5:42 in the 3rd round, launching her into 2nd position. And unfortunately for the British fans that we can see watching by the side of the pits, that means Olivia Breen now sits in 4th position, and just behind her, Maddie Down, also of Great Britain. And that is the athlete I was referring to when I said we have a new member of the 5-meter club. You can see there that Brosa of Germany having a little bit of an issue finding that takeoff board at the moment. Now, while she does currently have 3 fouls to her name, fortunately for her, there are only 8 athletes in this final. Typically, after the 3rd round, there is a cutoff. Only 8 athletes, only the top 8 athletes able to take their remaining jumps. But due to numbers, Brose is able to have 3 more attempts. At the moment, she is just doing a little bit of jumping on the runway. And by jumping, I mean just doing some jumping in spot. On the spot. A lot of sprinters, a lot of long jumpers will do that. A little bit of light plyometric work just to activate those muscles.
Just a quick update on the men's discus throw F57 qualification. Joachim Odilov, who's the Paralympic champion in javelin, has gone to the lead. Season best 44.44 for him. There are 2 host nation athletes in it. Babadra Singh has had his 3 attempts. He's currently 3rd, and Priyans Kumar is scheduled to go next. So at the moment, it is Odilov, Petrus, Singh, and Salam who have those 4 positions that go through automatically to the final tomorrow evening.
And that men's shot put F32 final being led now by Ahmed Mehideb of Algeria, who's the reigning Paralympic club champion and the world club champion too. Sad down to 3rd.
As the lights start to take effect here in the Jawaharlal Nehru Stadium, men's 100 metres T34 final, the first of our finals on the track this evening. We are set for 11 on the track overall. So first up in lane number 2, 22-year-old Ahmed Nawad of the UAE. He was 8th, making the final in Paris last year. 15:46, his lifetime best. The man who took bronze in Paris last year, Austin Smink, he's already won bronze over 400 metres at these championships. Goes in lane number 3. Reid McCracken of Australia in lane 4, silver here in the 400 metres. He's taken silver at 3 Paralympic Games as well as 3 World Championships. He's never won a global gold. He'll be looking to do that right here. Now here is the man who set the championship record in the heat. He won gold. He's the Paralympic champion when he winning in Paris last year. He's already won gold in the 400 metres here, looking for a double now. And he was the world champion back in 2023. It is Chawat Ratana of Thailand. Lane 6 is Roberto Michel of Mauritius, who set a lifetime best in his heat. 6th here in the 400 metres already at these championships. He was in the final last year in Paris of the men's 100 metres T34. Mohammed Othman, 21 years of age, from the UAE, the second of the Emirates athletes in this. He goes in lane 7. In lane 8, Wale Katila, who picked up silver in Paris last year. He's a 3-time Paralympic champion, 12, 16 and 20. He'll go in lane number 8. Ali Rashid, 4th in the 400 metres here. Season best in his heat. Blue indeed is the colour of the track that they'll be racing down in a moment. Men's 100 metres T34 final. Reid McCracken looking for that inaugural gold in a global event in lane 4.
Set.
Well, there was a false start there. I think it might have been out in lane 8. Now, that might be Wale Katila, who's in trouble here. The 3-time Paralympic champion, Wale Katila, he's won 14 World Championship golds. He's the world record holder. And I think he knows he might be in a bit of bother. So there was movement before that starter's gun went. Just out of the corner of my eye, I caught a bit of movement elsewhere as well, so that might be the only thing that saves Wale Katila. The officials will meet up and work out what happened. Well, there was a definite movement, yeah, and Katila's been given a red card and disqualified. So the Paralympic champion from 3 times in 2012, 16 and 20 is gone. He took silver last year, and that is a turn up for the books. Sometimes that's what pressure does to you when you know you've got someone like Chawat Ratana in the field. This will just show it. Look for number 8 on the helmet. There he goes. Just tried to anticipate the starter's gun. And so lane 8 is now vacant.
Set.
This time we're away with no problems at all. Roberto Michel's wheel was up and down and all over the place. McCracken got away to a good start. Out in lane 7, it's Mohammed Othman. But here comes Chawat Ratana in the middle. Can Reid McCracken hold on? McCracken, can he hold on? It's Chawat Ratana who takes it from McCracken right on the line. Mohammed Othman The 21-year-old was in there as well. But I think Ratana has taken it in the last couple of wheel movements. He has taken on Reid McCracken, who got off to an absolutely brilliant start. Ratana in first place. He's hit 15 on the dot. It is Reid McCracken in second place, who has just seen off Mohamed Othman by 3/1000ths of a second. So McCracken's wait for a global gold goes on. A wry smile, a shake of the head. He realises it was within his grasp. Ratana didn't get off to a great start. McCracken did. But my goodness, didn't Ratana, after starting slowly, come home?
Wow, this was reminiscent for me of Chantal Petitclerc back in Beijing in 2008. She was going for 5 gold medals, and she knew the 100 meters was going to be the hardest one, and she knew going into this race she was going to be behind at the start, and she would have to believe throughout that entire 100 meters she was going to catch the Chinese athlete, that she had to trust her top end speed completely, and that is exactly what Ratana did then. I mean, the amount of focus, just look at the power going into those wheels. Wow. As I said, just the self-belief that you need to be that far down and trust I can make this back.
Well, what a start to our track finals for the evening. That is number 1 of 11. If they're all like that, well, I'll be very happy indeed. Ratana, he makes it a double here. 400 meters gold. He now has 100 meters gold as well. Reid McCracken, he's just trying to keep a smile there, but you can just sense that he's so upset about the fact he missed the chance to pick up a global gold. And Mohamed Othman, 21 years of age, his first major championship medal, takes the bronze. Wale Katila disqualified early on, the 14-time World Championship gold medalist, didn't get over the start line in the end. The world record holder was undone before it even got underway. So confirmation that Ratana is a double champion here in New Delhi. After winning the 400, he wins the 100 T34 title. Reid McCracken with a silver medal in 15:04 and beating off Mohamed Othman by a couple of thousandths of a second for his first global medal, finishing 3rd.
This women's T38 long jump final is absolutely on fire. I am looking down the score sheet at the moment, and it is just a sea of world record, America's record, PB, 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 PB. Clearly conditions are good down on the track tonight. And this woman, Luca Eckler, reset her own world record in the 2nd attempt. Now, for the moment, it is the only valid jump that she has had. And she can be forgiven for getting a foul in the 3rd round, because look, once you have launched that world record, if you know that you're feeling it, if you know that you are in good shape, you are going to push it, and you're going to try and squeeze out every centimeter and get as close to that takeoff board as possible. And oh, that was another really, really good jump, and unfortunately that is another foul, and you just get a glimpse there of the frustration on Eckler's face. I mean, you'd be forgiven for, if you're just tuning in now, not realizing that she is currently winning this competition by almost half a meter, having already set a world record, but she's not happy with it just yet, because of course she's not going to be happy if she knows that there is more left on the table. And just look at that, she is so near to that 6 meter mark. She does not want to leave these World Championships wondering what if.
Another big final on the way. Another one of the greatest names of all time para-athletics going in this. It's the women's 100 meters T34. It features Hannah Cockcroft in this. Let's go through the field. In lane 2 for Australia, 4th in the 400 meters final and a championship debut, coached by Louise Savage. It's Coco Espy. In lane 3 for Japan, 4th in the Asian Games 2 years ago, from the Yokohama, originally from the World AC Club. This is Ayano Yoshida. Alongside her in lane 4, silver in the 100 here. The great Kari Edanigan, former European champion over 100. In 5 for China. The reigning Asian Games champion, silver in the 1 and the 8. In the Worlds last year in Kobe, bronze in the 1 in Paris. It is Lan Han Yu. Alongside her in lane 6, there is only one, Hannah Cockcroft, and she's aiming for another major title here. 29 goals to her name in major championships. This could be another milestone tonight. Alongside her in lane 7 for Great Britain, bronze in the 1 here. For the second time at the World Championships for Fabienne Andre. She's the reigning European champion right now. In lane 8 for Japan, bronze in the 100 meters in last year's World Championships and also in the Asian Games. So the former Paris swimmer Moa Onodera. And in lane 9 for Belgium from Linden, from the KA Ghent Club. Bronze in the 8 of the last Europeans 4 years ago for Cecile Guns. So the T34 final, Hannah Cockcroft already claiming her 17th world title here. An absolute legend. And is there more on the way? We will see. SB in 2, Yoshida 3, Edenigan 4, Lan Cockcroft, Andre Onodera and Goons in this 100 meters T34 final. Lan ready.
Set.
And they're away at the first time of asking. And away very, very strongly. Hannah Cockcroft going well. And Edenigan in 4 alongside. It could be another British clean sweep. It's Hannah Cockcroft being tested by Edenigan a bit. But Hannah Cockcroft's on the way. It'll be her 30th title. Magnificent. An 18-time world champion. Edenigan the silver and Lan Han Yu gets the bronze. But Hannah Cockcroft remains in a world of her own. Absolutely supreme. 17.28 the winning time for Cockcroft. And the world record holder, the perennial champion, has gone and done it again. And the passing of the baton you can put back for another year or 5. Cockcroft the gold, Edenigan the silver, Lan the bronze.
Hannah Cockcroft's top end speed is the class of that field, but my goodness, what a start from Kari Edenigan. I mean, she had that for the first 30 or 40 meters, and that is an athlete that I'm really excited to see what's going to happen over the next few months, the next year for her. She's made a big move, Kari Edenigan, and she's changed training groups, training setups, now able to do this full time, which will be really exciting. Hannah Cockcroft has always said she has longed for a rival, and she may very well get that wish. I was reading that after her first world record in 2010, all the way back 16 years ago, David Ware came up to her with a bouquet of roses, and if that tradition has continued, you have to think, my goodness, that's been very expensive for Mr. Ware.
So spectacular, 2 out of 2 for Hannah Cockcroft. Chance for another one on the way in the 800. It's a 1-2 between Cockcroft and Edenigan once more. Absolutely blistering. It was Fabienne Andre who got the bronze previously in the 4, but Hannah Cockcroft does it again. 30 championship titles, and this is her 18th world crown. Absolutely astounding. Kari Edenigan the silver. Lan Han Yu gets the bronze. Onodera 4, Andre 5, ahead of Yoshida and the youngsters SB and Goons.
Well, this women's long jump T38 final has been personal best central. Every athlete except for 2 rewritten their lifetime bests, including Karen Palamecki. She has been absolutely flying in this competition and struggling with the board, Not in the way that she's getting a lot of fouls, but in the sense that she's just been so far behind it. She's had a personal best of 5 meters 25 in the second round, but she was so far behind the board. You can probably add 30 centimeters to that total to get an idea of where her potential is at in the moment. She's currently sitting in third position just behind her teammate, 16-year-old Angie Mejia, standing on the runway at the moment. Mejia has already added about 20 centimeters to the lifetime record she came in with, resetting the America's record previously held by Karen Palamecki. And you can see too that she is also letting things fly a bit, trying to be as aggressive on that board as possible. Unfortunately, the margins are so fine when it comes to long jump. You are constantly walking that edge of going full out, being on the brink of out of control, and yet having to be so precise. Again, you can just see, I mean, that is centimeters over the board. And yet, the consequence is getting no credit for that effort. We're currently in the 5th round. This is the last jumper in this round, Eckler, and then every athlete will get just one more jump to see if they can shake up the current medal standings. And if you've been with us for these field events, you know that a lot can change in that final round. Oh, Luca Eckler is again just letting it fly. That was tight, and that has been given the white flag. She's only had one valid attempt so far, and it was a good one. It was a world record, 5 meters 86, resetting her own world record, adding another 4 centimeters to it, and my goodness, that was close. That was close, but you can see after those 3 other fouls, finally she gets one. Could she have done it again? When you are in good shape, you know it. When you are in good shape, and look, she's smiling. I think something has been announced to the crowd there. It will come up on my screen shortly, but that smile tells me she has done it again. The question is now, how far has she jumped? I can tell you quickly, it was another world record, 5 meters 91.
So here's a new event, women's 100 meters T44. Those competing without a prosthesis, affected by an issue in the lower limb. 14-year-old Michaela Elka, who you just saw there a moment ago from the Sunshine Coast, who's going in the long jump as well. Victoria Levitt from Mansfield, she's also going in the 200. She'll go in lane number 5. And another athlete who's going in the long jump as well as the 200, Annie Carey of the United States. Her 21st birthday is tomorrow. Beeb Jackson also in the 200, major championship debut, 19 years of age. She was Team England's youngest ever medalist at the Commonwealth Youth Games, winning silver in the discus in 2023 in Trinidad and Tobago. So Elka will go in lane 4, Levitt in 5, Carey in 6, and Jackson in lane number 7. So this being a new event, there are no records as such for it yet. And they get away, and very fast out the blocks is Victoria Levitt of Great Britain. And here comes Carey trying to race her down towards the end. Also doing well is Beeb Jackson, but it's going to be Levitt who's going to take it. Levitt from Carey and Jackson in 3rd, and then Elka comes through in 4th position, the 14-year-old youngster from Australia. But Levitt has just realised she's become a world champion. It is a new event, the women's 100 metres T44. And Victoria Levitt from Mansfield in England, representing Team Great Britain, has won gold here in New Delhi at the World Para-Athletics Championships. Kerry takes silver. Nice treat for her 21st birthday, which is tomorrow. And that young lady on the left in the green and gold, Elka, will have many, many more years of competing, just 14.
I just look at the smoothness of that stride there from Levitt. Now, just to explain it in really simple terms, so a T44 athlete has a lower leg impairment below the knee. And so basically what that means is when you're running and putting each foot down, one will feel springy and one won't feel quite as springy. And to be able to run that smoothly, that quickly, I mean, you saw the kilometers per hour posted on the screen. I mean, she was up around 27, 28 kilometers an hour. That is moving, and you see the emotion there. It's a really exciting time for the T44 athletes to finally have their own classification, which just means a whole new range of opportunities.
The flags are out, and why wouldn't they be? A new event, always good to see. Superb running from all 4 athletes. Sadly, there can only be one, and there are tears. It just shows you how much it means. There's so much hard work that goes into it. And Levitt hugging Jackson, who picked up the bronze medal herself. It's all worth it in the end. All the emotions flooding out. So we head back to the long jump.
We are in the final round of the women's T38 long jump final. Metin of Turkey taking her final jump. Good news that it is getting the white flag because she has had 2 fouls since her 3rd round personal best at 4 meters 82, and she will be one to watch for the future. We didn't catch that full runway, but looking at it, it is very short at the moment. And the thing is, once you lengthen that stride out, get more speed, you raise the ceiling of your potential and how far you can jump. But you can't do that until you have that technique ingrained, until you feel confident taking off at that speed. But she will definitely be one to watch for the future. You just get a sense there of the height and just the forces that are involved, the way that she is just launched forward. Sometimes long jump landings are a little bit painful. Oh, Maddie down, really, really attacking that board, attacking that runway. She has had an absolutely fantastic competition. She's finishing in 5th, but she is now leaving with a new personal best and a member of the 5 meter club. This is an athlete who has made a habit now of producing her lifetime bests in the moment that it matters most. She did it twice in Paris, resetting her personal best in the 100 meter final and in the long jump final. And she's done it again here. Hug there from Dad and from Mom. Quick picture for the gram. What a competition there for Maddie Down. Just 17 years old. So much potential to come. And another British athlete who has also set a personal best in this competition. And oh, I'm not sure that one's going to be an improvement for Livy. She does have the white flag, but you could just see at the end she was trying to resist the urge to stretch for that board, knowing that it was going to end up a little bit in front of her. And that 4th place is going to be hard, even though she's coming away with a personal best. She was 4th in Paris by the finest of margins. She jumped 4.99, so did the bronze medalist Karen Palamäki, and unfortunately just due to the countback, which means her second longest jump there. Getting a hug and a well done from Mom. Of course she's proud of her. Livy's had a fantastic competition. Livy will know more than anyone how tough it is out there in this field. Seriously competitive. Well, Karen Palamäki taking her final jump, knowing that she is the bronze medalist. She matched her finish from Paris. She has set a new personal best as well at 5 meters 25. But she will know that a little bit was left out there tonight, simply because she was jumping so far behind that board. She's definitely up around 5.5 meter territory. And my goodness, with the in-house competition going on in Colombia right now, you can see her there. She's clapping her teammate down the runway, Angie Mejia, just 16 years old, absolutely stormed onto the scene in this women's T38 event. This is an age where athletes just progress so quickly. They're growing into their bodies, into their strength, and they're dangerous. You never quite know how quickly they're going to progress, what they're going to produce. And she really has taken the world by surprise. First in that 100 meters with that gold medal, and now in the long jump. And you can see her technique is good, but there are still elements that are quite raw. As she's coming in, she's still stutter stepping just a little bit. Oh, there is still more speed there to harness. She already knows she's going away with the silver medal. Not a bad way to debut as a 16-year-old. Also, don't forget, we're going to be seeing 3 of these athletes again later on tonight. We're going to be seeing this woman, Luca Eckler, who has once again defended her world championship title. We're going to see Mejia and we're going to see Palamäki make their way to that 200-meter start line. Now, for the first time, we are seeing Eckler turn to the crowd, asking them to get involved, to clap her down that runway. She has reset the world record twice in this series, 5.86, 5.91. She is moving ever closer to that historical 6-meter barrier. And you can just see why she is so good at this event. She brings the speed. She brings the takeoff. In flight, she's doing a very good job of fighting gravity. And she has retained that world championship title, holding the crown now 4 times in a row. 2019, 2023, 2024, and now 2025. No one can touch her right now in this long jump. She's had a modest season so far, coming in with a season's best of just 5 meters 34. And yet, when it comes to the big stage, 2 world records. We'll just wait for that final total to finish off this competition. 5 meters 73. Still an excellent jump to finish things off. Luca Eckler, the 4-time world champion. She's waving to the crowd there in acknowledgement, but she's not done yet. She has a very tough task now of bringing this celebration to an all too quick close, because this deserves to be celebrated, but that's only because she still has the 200-meter heat to compete in, and she is also an excellent sprinter, particularly at the longer sprints. So she'll have a few more minutes to enjoy this moment, enjoy the crowd. And she's going to have to switch and refocus to another event. Luca Eckler, your 4-time world champion, done in style with 2 world records.
Very briefly, the men's discus throw F57 qualification. Odilov still leads. That one, season best 44.44. At the moment, Babadra Singh is out of the top 4, so just the one Indian in it at the moment. Kumar is still in 4th position. There are another 4 left to throw in that. And here we are. Petkovic is next up. So Yorkenbek Odilov of Uzbekistan, who's the Paralympic champion in javelin. He leads the way on 44.44 meters. And it is Uzbekistan 1-2 at the moment. Ilkmajon Turganov is in 2nd place, 40.43. There are 4 left to go in that as we head back to the track.
We do indeed. All getting ready for the opening heats of 3 of the men's 400 meters T12. This is medium visual impairment, up to 5%. 4 in this. Guides are optional. But Fakhruddin Kamrev not going for those. The Asian Games champion formerly over 15. He's in 7. This is Kisabong Tisawan, the Southeast Asian Games champion in lane 5. He's champion in that over 8 and 15 as Thursday worked this. In lane 3, without a guide, semi-finalist in the 400 2 years ago in Paris, Lame Manamate. And on the inside, we should be seeing Roman Tarasov, but we're not seeing Roman Tarasov, former European champion. So 3 in it, Manamate, Tisawan and Kamrev. Tisawan was due to have a guide with him, Matavan Pupraset, but he's decided to keep him in reserve. So Tarasov does not start. So that's a big name who is out. Paralympic bronze, formerly in the 100 in 2020 +1. And we're away. Manamati in 3, Tisawan in 5, Kamrev in 7. Tisawan with the treble of medals at the Southeast Asian Games 2 years ago, 2 gold and a silver, and he is the Asian Games bronze medalist last time out in the 4. He's the man in the yellow. Kamrev on the outside, going well for Uzbekistan right now. Manamati on the inside. It's only the winner of this going through, plus the fastest runner-up across the 3 heats. The semi-finals, as they effectively are. No Noah Malone, no Munsaf Puja, the Paralympic champion. And this is solid from Kamrev. It's going to be a very good margin. Kamrev, Tisawan, Manamati will be the 1, 2, 3, and he'll come through in 49.86, a new lifetime best by over a second. That's impressive. Kamrev takes it, Tisawan 2nd, Manamati in 3rd, and that was good. That was very good. And he is into the final. No letting up. He ran through the line impressively. And Tisawan found himself well back in the end. And Manamati, in only his 2nd major championship, well, he's gone. And all of these, by the way, are only in the 400 as well. Kamrev in the final.
Kamrev really took that race on. If you're looking at season's best and personal bests, we were expecting a really, really close race between Kamrev and Tisawan. And you would have thought that Tisawan was going to come out in front. And I just wonder, perhaps, the fact that Tisawan wasn't running with a guide. We're not quite sure why that is, but perhaps that maybe had a little bit of an effect on his race. The T12 category, it is a visually impaired category, the medium visual impairment. So athletes have that choice of running or not with a guide. But one of the really cool things about this track is it was intentionally done. You can see that there are light blue and dark blue lanes. And part of the reason for that is it just gives additional visual cues for any athlete that wants to compete or train on it, just making it a little bit more accessible.
Simple enough for Kamrev in the end. It was a real dash by the Uzbek. He goes longer than this. He's a lot to be praiseworthy for. Asian Games in 2018. Champion in the 1500. He won silver in the 5,000 meters. He's come down in distance a bit since then. And actually, he has claimed a world championship medal before, silver in the 4x4 back in 2015 in Doha. So Kamraev makes it. Tissawan will have to wait. 51.19 for Tissawan is the target for the rest. Darkness coming over the stadium in New Delhi now, the JLN, Jawaharlal Nehru Stadium.
So as we head back to the men's discus throw F57 qualification where we left off a short time ago. Croatia's Miroslav Petkovic has just gone with his opener. So he just had enough time during that race to get himself with his warm-up throws. Only the 3 that go. So in the actual qualification, or competition I should say, when they go through, it will be 6 on the day of the main event qualification, just the 3 throws. So Petkovic is up. Uzbekistan lead through Yorkumbek Odilov, the Paralympic champion in javelin. There's been no F57 discus since the 2017 World Championships. 35-37 for Petkovic. So at the moment it puts him in 7th position. He needs to get up above 39-12 if he wants to get into the top 4. And that's not going to be there, so he's going to have one more throw. Just the top 4 that go through to the main event, which is tomorrow evening, which will be day 6 in the evening session. I think Petkovic realises that there's no way that's going to go through. 34.5.40, so he has improved by a few centimetres on his opener. But it's just 7th. So it's Odilov, Turkanagov of Uzbekistan as the top 2. Yaroslav Petrus of Czechia, who's in 3rd, and Priyans Kumar of India, who's currently occupying the 4th and final qualification position.
You just get a sense there of how important it is, the grip on the discus. He had his towel out earlier, wiping down his hands, wiping down his arms. He's got the chalk out. So much of the flight of the discus is dependent on how you release it. A little bit like a frisbee, but this is far more technical.
You can see how warm he is there. You can see the glisten of his sweat off his shoulders, and you can see sweat go off the when he throws the discus there. That's not going to be far enough. So Petkovic will be going out of this competition without qualifying for the main event. He was a silver medalist in 2017 in London. His lifetime best is 45.99, nowhere near that. 39.31 was his season best coming into this. So he's about 4 metres shy of that as well. That's a foul for his final attempt. So he's 7th. As he removes himself from the chair. Which means we've 8 down and only 3 left to go. There was due to start with 12, but a non-starter in Lekezo of Cameroon, so just 3 left to go. And at the present time, it's Odilov, Turkanov of Uzbekistan, Petrus of Czechia, and Kumar of India, who are in those 4 positions. Second heat in the men's 400 metres T12, medium visual impairment category. And there are 3 set to go in this one. All three are out there as well. So there is Maddie Afri, who is actually going in lane 5. Gold medalist in 2017 over both the 200 and 400. Silver medalist in 2016 and 2019 at the Rio Paralympics and in Dubai. That man there, Brian Essagon, 25 years of age, lifetime best of 51.32. And I can tell you, left of your screen there, in the red vest, is Ali Kaya of Turkey. 24 years of age, his first major championship in lane 7. So there's no Paralympic champion in Munsef Buja. Just one going through here, 51.19. For Tissawan in heat number 1 is currently the hot seat position for that one person to advance who doesn't win their heat. And away they go in the second heat of the men's 400 metres T12 medium visual impairment category. All looking strong over that first 100 metres, especially Madi Afri, who's already up on the shoulder of Ali Kaya of Turkey. Afri just cruising through that first 200 metres. He's got a lovely running stride. And he's up now just slightly ahead if you take the bend into consideration, and all of a sudden putting on the afterburners. And it's Brian Essagon, the 25-year-old, who's run a wonderful bend there to try and get up with Madi Afri. Afri's holding him off at the moment. Essagon has just fallen back somewhat because Madi Afri has gone again and kicked to be about 5 or 6 metres out. Essagon might actually lose out in second place here. He doesn't in the end. Afri takes it. Essagon goes across in second position. 50.31 the time for Madi Afri. Essagon goes across in 51.26. That won't be enough for him to go through though, because the time from the first heat for second place was 51.19. So Essagon will miss out. It will just be Afri who goes through. Takes the victory, walks off the track, and it was a lifetime best for Kaya of Turkey.
One of the really hard things about the T12 and the T11 category is that only 4 athletes can make the final, and that's because each athlete requires 2 lanes. And that's tough. Usually you would have 8 athletes coming in with a chance of that gold medal, but when only 4 spots are on offer, that automatic qualification is so important. But Essagon certainly did the best that he could there, getting a PB, and it just goes to show there are so many different ways physiologically to run that 400 meters.
I wonder whether there's a rule that might be able to be put in place where if athletes are not running with a guide, they may be able to put more positions available for the final. Who knows? I'm just putting it out there. Men's 400 metres T12. Madi Afri goes through. Lifetime best for Essagon and Kaya, but they do miss out because they were outside the hot seat time at the moment, which is 51.19 from heat number 1, Tissawan.
And the men's shot put F32 final continues. It's been going on for the last hour and a half here. So leading right now for Greece, a real past master of this, Athanasios Konstantinidis, European and world silver medalist, Paralympic champion in the shot, Rio in 2016, and he's won medals in the last 2 world championships, silver last year in Kobe, bronze in Paris. He is the Paralympic champion. Well, ready to go now in this final is Mohamed Amchi of Algeria, who finished 5th in the Tokyo Paralympic Games. and 9th in the most recent Worlds. His lifetime best, well, it's competitive, 10:43. If he can get beyond that, he has a chance maybe of squeaking into the top 3 in this. Apologies, by the way, if you've not got a couple of start lists from the past few races, maybe the last 4 races or so. It is being worked on. So Konstantinidis is in pole position right now. That throw going out to 8 meters from Amchi. We've got another shot put final coming up as well, the F20, which is on shortly. Konstantinidis going out to 9:65, and currently for Algeria, silver and bronze for Walid Ferah and Ahmed Medideb. So we're pointing out that 7 of the field have got lifetime bests over 10 meters, 4 of them doing that this season, but nobody's done it in the final just yet. Samchi just sorting out. We've had his practice throws. Konstantinidis 9:65 for Greece, Ferris second for Algeria 9:18, and Mehideb third for Algeria 8:85. Demetrios Zizidis, who's had good successes lately, bronze in this last year in Kobe. He's not going to win a medal. He's had all his throws and he's currently 4th on 8:75. Samataskin of Lithuania and Sad of Bahrain, who we saw throwing earlier, they've had their efforts and they will not make it. Not on this occasion anyway. Good thrilling night in the track. We've got a lot more to come, don't worry about that. Mohamed Amchi is 34 years old, so 10:43 is lifetime best from this year, and something close to that, something within 3/4 of a meter of that, and that would put him into the lead. He's not won a major championship medal prior to this. Third heat of the men's 400 meters T12. Amchi's gone to bronze, by the way, 8:88 his opening throw. We'll keep you updated on that, but now it's heat 3 of the men's 400 meters T12. Medium visual impairment. And Uğuz Akbulut of Turkey going in this, the reigning European champion, world bronze previously. 3 of them, all in this 400 meters. Well, those coming at London in 2017, Dubai in 2019, and 2 years ago the Stade Charity in Paris. He was 4th in the Paralympic Games last year. He's won the last 2 European 400 meters crowns, 2018 in Berlin and Bydgoszcz 2021. For Canada in lane 5, David Johnson. It's his 2nd championship. Semi-finalist in the 4 back in 2023 from British Columbia. Coached by Jeff Harris, by the way. Heats in the 1 and the 4 in the Pan Ams in 2019 in Lima. In 3, a championship debut for the man who turns 19 in a dozen days' time. Diego Ruiz, semi-finalist in the 1 here. And it's a 3rd World Championship for Stanley Matutu, but this is the phase where he's bowed out the 2 previous times in Dubai in 2019 and Paris 2 years ago, the man from Botswana. So again, it's only the winner automatically going through, and the 2nd placer has to be faster than 51.19 in order to displace Kisinapong Tisuwan. That's his time from finishing behind Fakbuddin Kamraev in the opening heats of the 3. Semi-finals they are effectively, going into the final. So Matutu in 1, Ruiz in 3, Johnson in 5, Akbulut in 7. So away they go. Solid start on the inside. Matutu going well, and Akbulut very much so on the outside, who's got the faster lifetime best by around 2.5 seconds. He's got a good lead at the moment over David Johnson. He's had a lot of bad luck, the Canadian. He's missed out on a few championships through illness here and there, but he is here now. Didn't start the heats of the 100 meters, but he's okay. He got the nod, got an exemption to continue on. And Akbulut very much holding his own, heading towards the final straight. But Johnson has not been burned off yet, and neither is Ruiz. And now Ruiz, the 18-year-old debutant, is on his way here for Spain into second place. Will it be enough? I'm not sure it will be. August Akbulut is holding on. Akbulut is going to get the win. He's into the final, 50.69. Ruiz in second place has to hope that he's done enough in second place. And Johnson is very well supported by a Canadian crowd here on the finish line. He comes through in third, but August Akbulut, 50.69. It's a nice time, and it is game on for the final, no doubt about that. 50.71 the ratified winning time, and 51.88 for Ruiz will not be enough, and he's not in the final.
David Johnson there in the white jersey, absolutely blasted out of his blocks. He was in the lead after that first 100 meters. He was still in the lead after that 200 meters. And this is the really tricky thing about running a 400 meters well. It is the only sprint where you have to consider a little bit of pacing. And there's different ways to run it. And you have to be careful that you don't go out too fast, and you have to be careful that you don't go out too slow. And someone that has really mastered the art of pacing this 400 meters is Akbulut, and you can just see there him easing himself down that runway away from the rest of the competitors. And you will hear it say a lot, it's not that anybody is accelerating away on that home straight. Nobody is increasing their speed, but the best athletes will just decrease a little bit less than the others.
It's up to 5% vision in this, remember, and Akbulut has done well. Akbulut qualifying 50.71 for Turkey. Diego Ruiz missing out for Spain, though, 51.88. And David Johnson in third for Canada, 52.30. So Kalrayev, the only one to break 50 seconds going into this final. A new lifetime best of 49.86. Afri, second fastest, 50.31, then Akbulut, then Kisanpong Tizuan. 4 in the final, this T12. Men's shot put F32 continuing, and up into the bronze medal position impressively, Mohamed Amchi looking to pounce, and he is doing so. Remember, all the throws come at once. It's most restrictive coordination impairment. We do see some of these also eligible to compete in the frame running, either the T71 or 72. Well, there might have been a prospect of an Algerian clean sweep, but that was put off by Konstanidis. Zazidis resting in the background, he's had his goes. One more throw to come from Amchi. That most recent one, by the way, 9.23, puts him above Walid Ferha, and he's into the silver medal position by 5 centimeters. Amchi has thrown 10 meters this year. That 10-meter line is worth watching out for. The final attempt to Mohamed Najib Amchi. Big moment. Can he do it? Not this time. A lot of energy gone. It's a red flag anyway. So Amchi, he's got into the medals, and that's a very good achievement. But it's Konstantinidis who is out in front. Now look at that. 9.23, edging ahead of his teammate Ferha, and knocking him down into third spot. It's been a while since Amchi has made it onto the podium. He won bronze in Dubai. Li Lu, who's been a regular champion, has won 2 of the last 3 world titles and the 2020 Paralympic Games in Tokyo. He is not here in this today. And Amchi on the brink of his greatest result. But still 3 men who can deny him. And Kodjev and El Mashawi have got lifetime bests of over 10 meters. Olivia Correa as well of Portugal, 9:31. And all 3 men to come up have marks this season that are further than Amchi. But only one, Yasser Kodjev, has one further than Konstantinidis. Well, what a night it is for so many of the debutants. There is Irish support here as well, because we've got an Irish runner on a little bit later on with an Australian connection.
We'll get to that shortly. Men's discus throw F57 qualification continues at pace. We are down to the final 2. Raigo Roots of Estonia. Well, I don't know whether that was a practice throw or whether that was an actual throw, because if it was an actual throw, it's certainly going to be a foul straight into the net. Just to update you on what's happening at the top, though. Yorkenbeck Odilov leads the way over Uzbekistan, season best 44.44. Turganov, his compatriot, 40.43. Yaroslav Petrus of Czechia, third, 39.86. And Priyans Kumar of India, 39.12 in 4th position. There is only 4 to go through to the main event in the men's discus throw F57 final, which is tomorrow evening. Day 6, evening session. We'll keep you up to date with that. 2 left to go, though. Track finals coming thick and fast. Women's 400 metres T12. There are 4 set to go in this one, but there is no Amara Duran, who's the world record and championship record holder. She is not at these World Para-Athletics Championships. Alejandra Perez, silver medalist in 2023, bronze medalist in Tokyo 2020, a season best in her heat. She will go in lane number 7. Lady who's won bronze in the javelin here at these championships already, a season best in her heat, Anna Kulinic Sorokina. Neutral para-athlete, she has 8 global medals, mainly in the javelin. And here is the lady who is the world champion, became the first female Iranian athlete to win a world title when she took the victory last year in Kobe. She took silver in the Paralympic Games. Haja Safrazadeh of Iran in lane 3. Personal best in a heat for Shen Ya-Qing, gold medalist at the Paralympics in Rio in the 4x100 in 2016. And in 2022 at the Asian Para Games, she won bronze in the 100 and 200. This, though, the 400 women's T12 final. So 3 of the athletes are running with a guide. Safazadeh is the only one who doesn't. This is T12. It's not compulsory to have a guide at T12. It's the medium visual impairment category. T11, the complete visual impairment. T13, the least of the visual impairment. They get away with no issues at all. Those tethers have to remain bound to the guide as they continue through the race, and the athlete must cross the line first. So it is the Iranian Safazadeh who has gone out very quick. She won the world title last year in Kobe. She's looking to make it 2 in a row running without a guide out there in lane number 3. She's just taking it around the bend there as they got past that 200 metre mark. As they'll straighten up when they come another 20 or 30 metres around, it will be Safazadeh who has the lead. Has she done too much too early though, and will she tighten up? It could be a very close finish indeed if she starts to tighten. Down the outside, Perez is looking very good in second place. Is she starting to tighten up with Safazadeh, the Iranian? She may well have just enough. Here comes Kulinich Sorokina. Can she get them on the line? Kulinich Sorokina. Well, I think she might have just got them on the line. Well, that is a photo, if ever you've seen one. Anna Kulinich Sorokina has come from absolutely nowhere, and she may well have just pipped that lady who you saw on the ground, Hadja Safazadeh. She has 56.38. That is a run for the ages from Anna Kulinich Sorokina. She was nowhere to be seen with around 70 metres to go. She kept on going. She kept her form. I said Safazadeh may tighten up, but she got towards the end. She went out quick enough. She's been beaten by 1/100th of a second. Season best for her. But it's Anna Kulinich Sorokina who takes it. Alejandra Perez has held on the Venezuelan a season best in the third and bronze medal position. And what about that? She's won by 100th of a second ahead of Shen as well. What a tight race that was. There's absolutely nothing across the whole lot of them there. 0.29 of a second separates first and fourth position. What a race, Steph Reed.
That is what we want to see at a World Championship final. I think the lesson to take away here is if you are not willing to suffer, the 400 meters is not for you. I mean, it's general good life advice to go out of your comfort zone occasionally, but every single 400 meter race these runners run, they know that they are coming down to a wall of discomfort, and you can just see how much Safazadeh wanted that. She literally unloaded everything she had into that race, collapsing across the line. And you can see from her face after how much she wanted that gold medal. This is still an amazing medal for her, but what a well-paced race from Kulinich Sorokina.
If the line had come 1 metre further, Safazadeh is the world champion. It didn't. What timing from Anna Kulinich Sorokina and her guide, Ilya Goncharov, a lifetime best and a gold medal at the World Championships. Safazadeh has to settle for a silver medal as she did at the Paralympics, season best, and Alejandra Perez a season best with a bronze medal for Venezuela, and Shen lifetime best. There was 0.29 of a second separating first and fourth position. What a race.
Incredible finish in that. As tight as it gets. And she came from nowhere, fourth to first to get that win. It's a big night of Australian interest. Another big final coming up in the track that involves them. In many ways, we've an unusual track final that'll be on very, very shortly, because there will be a whole load of names that will be new to just about everybody. If you are watching around Delhi, by the way, please do come along. Still got 4 more days to go. We're past the halfway point. Who'd have thought it? Made it already. Get the angle right. On to the next final, men's 800 meters T20. This is the intellectual impairment category. So we've got only one in this who is a major championship medalist, and 5 are championship debutants. So a lot of proper introducing on the way. This man we've seen before. He's from Victoria, from Ferntree Gully, coached by Gavin Boren. It's Daniel Maloney, 13th in the 1500 final 2 years ago in Paris at the Worlds of the Stade Charlotte, and he's still only 24. And Yaga Dieng European Paralympic bronze medalist, both coming in 2021. He goes for Italy in 8. Here come the debutants. Abdulmajid Ghafiri for Saudi Arabia in 7 at the age of 19. In lane 6 for Turkey. Championship debut from Mehmet Emin Egilmez. All of these are also going the 1500 meters, which is on later in the week. Another championship debut from Michel Mahoutan of Saudi Arabia. 26 years old, 153 is lifetime best. That is the second fastest in the field, behind Dieng. In lane 4 for Greece, 7th in the 1500 meters final in Kobe at the Worlds last year for Gavril Arampatsis. In 3 for South Korea, championship debut for Cha Sum-young. He's 25. And a neutral athlete in 2. Maxim Angelov making his championship debut. So it's almost like a maiden race very much. The fastest lifetime best, Dieng 1:49. Fastest, second fastest is Mahoutan 1:53. And Dieng has run 1:51 this year. That's the fastest season's best. So Angelov in 2, Cha 3, Arapatis 4, Mahoutan 5, Egilmaz, Ghafiri, Dieng and Maloney underway in the men's 800 meters T20 in New Delhi at these World Championships. And it's a bit of a trot out. Arampatis looking to go very strongly as they break to go and on the inside, but he's going to tuck in behind Angelov, the neutral athlete, and Dieng and Maloney had gone out well on the outside also. So Angelov, front of the pack, and holding his own quite well. Arampatis just mopping a few things up in second place right now, and Dieng on the outside in 3rd. And for Australia, trying to make a little bit of move further on the outside is Daniel Maloney. But it's Maxim Angelov who's got a really good advantage, the neutral athlete, coming through as he takes the bell here and by a good margin. Dieng trying to keep his own in second spot. He's done this before 4 years ago when he picked up that bronze in the European and followed it up at the delayed Paralympic Games in Tokyo. But now it's tightening. Dieng has just crawled in and Angelov a little bit. Mahoutan of Saudi Arabia has moved up well into 3rd place, and for Turkey it's Egilmez too in 4th, and well in the outside for Greece. This is Arampatsis. It's an interesting race with largely new names for everybody. Dieng going out in front. He's got class and quality from the past. Mahoutan has made a bit of a move as well. His compatriot falling behind. For Turkey in 3rd is Egilmez. But Dieng is coming forward looking to be a major championship winner for the first time. A recovery from Egilmez won't be enough. And it's going to be victory here for Dieng. He is the world champion. Mahoutan gets the silver. And Egilmez the bronze for Turkey. 1:53.88, the winning time. That was really fascinating in the category where tactical ability is not in the frame, and we must emphasize that every time. That is one of the specifications of this category. Dieng the gold, Mahoutan the silver, and Egilmez a very good lifetime best to get the bronze for Turkey.
Well, this was an exciting race for us, and it was an exciting race for them because largely they are going into the unknown. And by unknown, I don't mean that the 800 meters is hard for them to run. They've been doing the training, but this is a race where you kind of want to have an idea of what your competitors are going to be doing, but they won't have raced each other very much. And so we saw the early leader, Angelov. He took it out hard. He wanted to go to the front. And then you just kind of watch how the race evolved. And again, when you don't know what your competitors are going to do, you see there Angelov just in the lead coming down the home straight of the first lap, and then it all just changed from there. Dieng knew he wanted to be in pole position, and he knew he was going to have the speed. Well, I say he knew, he was going to hope that he had. He had to go in trusting that his speed was going to be better than the other athlete's speed, but he wouldn't have fully known because they don't see each other that much. But now that it is in the World Championships and it is part of the program, it's going to be really exciting to see how this men's T20 800 meters evolves.
I mean, as a race, it was majorly fascinating because it's one of those races where you literally don't know what's going to happen. There's no form book, realistically. Dieng had won championship medals, bronzes 4 years ago, which doesn't mean as much in 2025. But you win a medal now, it means a lot. So Dieng takes the gold, and for Mahutan and Egelmez, they now get form as they are championship medal winners for the first time. Dieng's the big man, he's got the big flag. Mahutan with the silver. Good win for Ndiaga Dieng. Sunderland Ante with a silver in the shot earlier today. The wonderful veteran Ndiaga Dieng takes the honours here. Gold in the men's 800 metres T20 for Italy. Mahutan the silver for Saudi Arabia, and Egelmez lifetime best, the bronze for Turkey. Daniel Mlodi with an Oceania record in 7th.
That's it. The men's discus throw F57 qualification has just finished in the past couple of minutes. There's some of the athletes' throws that you see, which are going out. That was Petrus of Czechia, who did make it through in 3rd position. There's the man who did finish in 1st place there, Jokenbek Odilov, who's the Paralympic javelin champion. Kumar has gone through as well. There were 2 Indians in it. Kumar finished 4th. Singh missed out though, finishing in 5th position. It's just the top 4 that go through. Turganov finished in 2nd. So Uzbekistan have 2 athletes going through to join the main field in tomorrow evening's F57 men's discus final. Fernandez struggled somewhat. He finished in 8th. 34.88 with his best attempt. Bruce was one of the last to go. 28.91 with his opener, and then after that, 2 fouls. Mkhitaryan finished in 9th. But it was Uzbekistan 1-2, Czechia 3rd, and India in 4th. Is how that one worked out. So that's wrapped up in a nice little bundle. Men's shot put F32 final. Still continuing though.
It certainly is. We're towards the end now. And we have a new leader. It's Joshua Kodayev of Uzbekistan, who sent that one out to 9.96. We're with Mohammed El Mashaiki now of Oman, who won bronze in this in Tokyo 4 years ago at the Paralympic Games. Prospects for him here. So Kodayev, first few attempts, 9.26, got him into the bronze medal position. All the throws coming at once, remember. The leader being Konstantinidis of Greece, 9.65, and with Kodayev's 4th attempt, went to 9.83. That the lead, putting him into gold contention, and 9.96 to wrap up. So he gets into the gold medal position. These are still practice throws from Mohammed El Mashaiki. Seventh in the Paralympic Games last year. Those are falling a bit short. I mean, I know he doesn't want to put a major amount of energy into it because he's got 6 real throws in order to try and get himself into top spot. It is major coordination impairment here.
Men's 400 metres T52. Here's your start list. The World and Paralympic champion in this event, Maxime Caraban, reclassified to T53. So there are 8 that go without Caraban for the first time in a couple of years. "61 years of age, Salvador Hernandez, who took gold in the 400 in Sydney 2000, 18 global medals overall. He will go in lane number 9, finishing 7th in the Paralympics last year in this event. Sato Tomoki took silver in Paris last year. He was the Paralympic champion in 2020 at his home games, silver back in 2016, twice a world champion in 2015 and 19, and he took silver at his home Para-Athletics World Championships last year in Kobe in the 400 metres T52. Leonardo Perez, 6 global medals, 1500 metres bronze in Kobe last year. What can he do in the 400? He's in lane 7. Oyambaro Hirazaku of Japan, who's in lane 6, bronze in 2020 at his home Paralympic Games, 54 years of age, took silver in Doha back in 2015. 3 Japanese going in this. Ito Tomoya, the third of them, bronze last year at the Paralympics. He took gold back in 2008 in Beijing. He is 62 years of age and still cracking on. Age is no limit. Gerald Manglawan of the Philippines, Asian Para Games champion in 2022. He's in lane 4. Thomas Gierspiegler needs no introduction. From Austria, 49 years of age. He won 8 Paralympic Games medals stretching back to Sydney 2000. And Fabian Blum of Switzerland will go in lane number 2, trying to channel a bit of Marcel Hug perhaps. He was 5th last year in the Paris Paralympic Games. So Gierspiegler in lane number 3 you just saw then. One complete circuit of the track, men's 400 metres T52 final. Strong on the outside. Hernandez, he's out in lane 9. Sometimes that's a difficult thing to do because you can't see what's come behind you. And Sato Tomoki is behind him because he's gone straight past as the Japanese who picked up silver last year in the Paralympic Games. He's a Paralympic champion from Tokyo 2020. He is way out in front at the moment is Sato Tomoki. The rest are just trying to chase him down. Inside of him, it's Oyamburo, who looks like he's back there in 2nd place. There's such a distance between these athletes at the moment. He has absolutely flown out, has the man from Japan, Sato Tomoki. It may well be a Japanese 1, 2, 3, the way we're looking at the moment. Let's just keep our eyes on Sato Tomoki and look at the time. 54.22 seconds. Well, I'll tell you, he's 0.03 of a second outside Maxime Caraban's championship record that was set in France, in Paris, back in 2023. Sato takes it. Oyamburo in 2nd place and Ito in 3rd. It is a Japanese trifecta. 1, 2, 3. 54.21 the winning time. And there was daylight between that man there, Sato Tomoki, and the rest of the field. Just have a look at that. Where is everyone? Oh, there they are.
I mean, that was absolutely dominant from Sato and dominant from Japan in general. And just in case you're new to wheelchair racing and wondering why we have so many different classifications, the T52 classification is for athletes where both their trunk is affected, their arms are affected, and their hand is affected. And actually, you can see Japan there loving this one. At the start of this race, we got these really, really great close-up shots of the gloves that the athletes wear. And the gloves so important in this category in particular, because hand strength, hand grip, it can be different, and it just means that you have to make sure you really get that connection solid. You see the way that the athletes are powering into those rims. You might think that they're grasping onto them, and they're not. It's actually a lot more like a punch you would do in boxing. They are punching those rims, and if you do not have a good connection, if you're slipping off, they do not like rain. If you are slipping off those rims, it makes it very, very difficult to power through.
Spoken like someone pretty experienced. Steph Reed's husband, Brent Lakatos, has been doing it for years, so she's learned a trick or two along the way. Brent, if you're listening or watching, hello, how are you? Your wife will be home soon. Sato Tomoki wins it. He picks up a gold medal to go with his 2 previous World Championship golds in 2015 and 2019. A triple champion in the men's 400 metres T52. Sato Tomoki takes gold, Uyambaro of Japan the silver, and Ito the bronze. Japan 1, 2, 3. Or should I say Ishii-san?
Sayonara to the rest it was, and El Mashaiki in the men's shot put F32, struggling, I'm afraid. A man who has previously been on the podium in the Worlds and Paralympic Games. Silver in 2017 in London at the Worlds, and 4 years back in Tokyo in the Paralympics, where he claimed bronze. He's in 7th spot right now, 7:62 is best. His season's best is 9:45, and that would be knocking on the door of the medals, but not quite. And that's shy of 8 meters, and it has not been his night, and there's one more to go, and it's another medal contender, certainly, who's coming on the horizon in the form of Lavio Correa. But for El Mashaiki, it's not been his night. Yashir Kodayev, our leader for Uzbekistan, in what is very much his championship debut. He was due to compete before. There was a problem over classification. He's been allowed back into F32. He is in front with that throw of 9.96. Men's shot put F20. Another final for you on the way. This is the intellectual category. 8 going in this. And again, it's a throw per round. A few familiar names. So Kefli already competed this week. Maxim Koval as well. And the crowd anticipating. Got the medalists here from Paris a year ago. Paralympic champion is Maxim Koval from Ukraine. Mohamed Zakevli taking the silver, and Sona Messonnier of France just edged out into 4th spot by Europé. So this may well be very, very competitive tonight. A lot to look forward to. Great Australian panel, lots of new names in the Australian squad. We've got another one coming in a track final very, very soon indeed. Next up, the final of the men's 400 meters T38. It's coordination impairment, and these are nominally, physically, the strongest of the lots. A few championship debutants as well in this for India, the 18-year-old Akira Nandan Banatu. In lane 8 for Colombia, Jose Ramirez. But here's the man who is going for his 4th double in a row. He's done doubles in the last 2 Paralympic Games. In the 1 and the 4, Jaden Blackwell, and at the Worlds also. Doing it in Paris a year ago, the man from Detroit. He's in lane 7. The world record holder too. In lane 6, the new European record holder, achieving that in the semi-final, the Greek club champion in able-bodied athletics, Alexandros Skouteris. In lane 5 for the United States, silver in the 100 meters here, silver in the 4 in last year's World Championships and last year's Paralympics, Ryan Medrano. In lane 4 for Australia, a championship debut for a man who was 8th in the 100 meters. Queensland's University of Technology, it's Ulrich Muller. In lane 3 for Canada, silver in the 4 in the Worlds 2 years ago and bronze in the 100 at the Commonwealth Games at Birmingham 2022, it's Zach Gingras. And in lane 2 for Mexico, the former Paralympic champion from 4 years ago in Tokyo, Jose Chesiani. Silver and bronze in World Championships previously. Sani was 6th in Paris in this final a year ago. Talented field. And the 2 Americans looking very impressive, Blackwell and Medrano. Gingras also. Another athlete coached by Jeff Harris. Blackwell winning the 1 and the 4 at the Paralympics last year. The last 2 World Championships, and this one too if he wins this race. The world record holder set in Cali in Colombia in May. 48.26. Holds the championship record, the old world record from Paris 2 years ago. Final of the men's 400 meters. T38. Chesani in 2, Gingras 3, Muller 4, Medrano 5, Skouteris 6, Blackwell 7, Ramirez 8, Banatu 9. Away first time, they were held a long time. Blackwell away strongly, and Banatu, who's got nothing to fear in lane 9. He's been caught up with by Ramirez of Colombia in 8, himself a championship debutant, but Blackwell will surely gobble them up quickly, and Medrano's beginning to do the same as well in lane 5 and picked up silver in the 1 and the 4 in the Paralympics last year in Paris. But it is Jaden Blackwell for the United States, going strongly in 7. He's still only 21 years old, and fighting up is Ramirez here. Blackwell has got a bit of a fight he wasn't expecting, trying to shake them off. Medrano looking to push up to get another silver medal if he can. This is a great race by Ramirez if he can keep going. In 3rd is Medrano. Skouteris is moving up too, but it's Blackwell against the clock. He's beaten the rest. 48.26 the world record, and it's gone! A new world record for Jaden Blackwell. Magnificent! 48 seconds dead. Ramirez on his debut gets the silver for Colombia, and Skouteris likewise for Greece gets the bronze. An amazing race. Blackwell had opponents he could not have expected, because for the last 3 championships it's been Blackwell 1 and Medrano 2, and this time Medrano was run out of it, but Blackwell smashes the world record. 48 seconds dead ahead of Ramirez and European record breaking Skouteris.
I mean, Blackwell was all business from the start, and I think he might have broken the standing high jump record just when he was getting into his blocks. So good is his plyometric speed and power. Now, he ran a 400 meters exactly as the textbook suggests. You want to get out hard in those first 50 to 70 meters. They call it the velocity zone. You get up to speed as quickly as possible, and then for the next 130 meters, you're basically just cruising. And by cruising, I don't mean that you're going slow. You are just maintaining that speed as efficiently as you can. Just look there as he takes in that moment. Blackwell will be so aware of the event that is going to be taking place in his country in LA 2028. As you said, still just so young. I mean, imagine in 3 years' time where he is going to be. But this really is where Blackwell did the damage. He was right alongside these athletes. You can't quite see him in frame there, just making up that stagger so quickly. And you thought for a moment, maybe just a moment, Ramirez Estrada was going to do something down the back straight, but then Blackwell just eased himself away. Blackwell has always been an amazing athlete. He just didn't know that the Paralympics were a thing, realized he could be classified, and my goodness, how much his life has changed. It's crazy to think that when he was born, less than 2 pounds, and now he is just a freight train of muscle and speed and talent.
He's made contact big time. A hammer blow for the rest of the field from Jaden Blackwell. He's worth £1 million now. It's another double for him for a 4th major championship in a row. 3rd Worlds in a row for Jaden Blackwell in the 1 and the 4. World record, 48 seconds dead for the United States. Ramirez, a debut silver for Colombia, and for Greece, Skurtis gets the bronze and the European record, and that is your moment of zen. Eyes firmly on the prize. He's getting that gold shortly. Brilliant win by Blackwell, and ultimately it was him against the clock. And Joachim Cruz, who's been such an effective national team coach for so long, an athlete of great standing himself, has another one in the bag. The man from Oak Park, Detroit, who was a very good footballer. Mother Rochelle Davis pointed him in this direction. What a great call that was. This is the end of the men's shot put F32. The final man sitting, and a chance of a medal certainly for the Portuguese Otávio Correa. So 8.93 puts him into 5th spot. He's had a very, very long wait so far. Competition which began in and around 2+ hours ago. That's headed out towards 10 meters. 9.56 right now is bronze. Has that changed? Not quite, but 9.35 moves him to 4th. It's a new lifetime best. If he can squeeze another 22 centimeters out, actually 21 on countback, he'd get there. Impressive this for Correa, who now will believe. Watch that 10-meter line, that's fantastic! But not so fantastic. The flag is red. That might have been the moment for Correa. He can take his break now. Well, Correa, 9.35. And that would have been a very thrilling moment, but obviously a bit of lifting. But he's got a throw in him that could win this, Steph.
I do feel like it's stating the obvious, but seeing as this is a seated throw, one of the main requirements is that you have to stay seated. And that's because the athletes will have differing uses of their legs, and we all know that your legs can play a huge, huge part of getting that power from the throw. So in order to make sure everything is even across the board, you have a judge. Actually, you can see the judge sitting directly behind him. You see a judge also, the judge with the yellow flag right now is just giving a time notification to say that it's almost done. But the gentleman in the purple behind him is sitting and he's watching very, very closely to make sure he stays on that seat.
Good throw that. It's not as thrilling, not as close to 10 meters as last time. But here he is in his first global championship, and he has really shaken things up. His championship debut at the age of 33. That was 9:29, so he stays in 4th. So it's as simple as this. 9:56 where Amchi is right now. Previous World Championship bronze medalist, that's not as much. He's lost a bit of power there and maybe a bit of energy. That's shy of 9 meters for me. So he's got 1 throw left. Amchi on the way to a 2nd World Championship bronze in his career. If Correa can match Amchi 9:56, he wins a countback. He's got a brilliant lifetime best of 9:35 tonight. Added 4 centimeters onto it. F32, you can see the coordination impairment in play. This is it! Otavio Correa, that's not going to do it. Amchi takes the bronze, Konstantinidis the silver, and Kodjev, on his official championship debut, gets the gold. Well, that's absolutely striking. He's had a good show, Correa, and that can give him something to build on. But it will be 4th for Correa as Uzbekistan gets another gold on the board for Yashur Kodjayev. Had to wait a long time, just over 2 hours, Correa, to get on his seat. But what a fine win for Kodjayev in the end, and it was right towards the end in which he was able to get up into top spot. Correa denied, but this will give him a bit of heart for future competitions. Next World Championships in 2 years' time. We go into the women's 200 meters T38. There's also coordination impairment, but the nominally strongest of all that, one of the greats of all time in this, Sophie Hahn, and Palameke, the more recent winner of the crown. Good field again. Well, Sophie Hahn, what a star down through the years. Twice the 100 meters Paralympic champion, 7 times world champion, Commonwealth Games champion formerly. She goes in lane 4 in this 200 meters final. But a woman starting off, the first from Arnhem Land to represent her country in this championship debut from the Northern Territory for Briseis, Britain, coached by Roger Chin. In lane 6. Well, she's just won bronze with long jump, silver in the 1 here behind a new compatriot for Colombia. But awesomely, 5 golds in the last 2 worlds. 2 golds in Paris at the Paris last year for Karen Palameke. The Pan Am, Paralympic and world champion in this. Debut time for Lana Sutton for Ireland of UCD. AC in Dublin, born in Australia, grew up in London, Irish dad. Her great-granddad was the Taoiseach, the Prime Minister of Ireland, John Costello, former rugby wing and full-back. She's got speed. Can she use it here? 8th in the 100. 1 spot behind this woman. Silver in the 4 2 years ago in Paris. A couple of bronzes previously in Dubai for Rhiannon Clark. And in lane 9 for Guatemala. 3rd World Championship, but like her Paralympic appearances, it's ended early for Erika Esteban. But maybe this can be her time. So it's the top 3 to go through and the next 2 fastest. Hahn, Britain, Palameke, Sutton, Clark and Esteban of this 6. Hahn and Palameke taking the biggest prizes in the sport. Clark, world silvers and bronze. Commonwealth Games bronzes as well. Esteban looking to step up her career. Debuts for Britain and Sutton. It's a great mix. Hahn 4, Britain 5. Palameke, Sutton, Clark and Esteban. And they're away. It's a very good start by Rhiannon Clark in lane 8. She's left Esteban behind, and Sutton has moved up well here for Ireland. It's Palameke alongside her. The reigning world champion, 2 in a row, 5 goals for her. She's going very good, Palameke. And Sophie Hahn has a lot to say too. It's Sutton in 3rd for Ireland right now. Clark in 4th. Palameke's coming through to win this. It's a good shoot up. Sutton's going to finish 2nd to qualify for the final. And Sophie Hahn as well. 26.02 is fast by Palameke. Not a worry for her in the end. She's done wonderfully. Great display by Karen Palameke, and Sutton 2nd in 26.78, a lifetime best for the Irish woman. And Sophie Hahn, 27.04, season's best. They're the 3 through to the final. The former queen of the track and the current one.
As you were going through those introductions, Will, the thing that struck me the most is that this is a category where the person at the top is constantly changing. It is never at a standstill. We see Sophie Hahn, the great legend there. Now Palameke, who was beaten in the 100 meters by her teammate. But my goodness, Lana Sutton, on her debut, to come in and finish 2nd in a seriously tough field. I mean, this is such an exciting category to watch, and I can't wait to see what she does in the final.
I mean, Palameke, very impressive, but how Sutton shot up towards the line, taking over a 10th off her lifetime best, and that's the great Sophie Hahn, the really good Rhiannon Clark she's left behind, and a good beaming smile for Lana Sutton as she's into another final. She finished 8th in the 100 meters. Palameke won the silver in that, aiming for her 3rd medal of the Games, and supported solidly by a couple of gold medal winners in the front row. Palameke going through, Lana Sutton in 2nd for Ireland, and Sophie Hahn 3rd for Great Britain. On the way, Rhiannon Clark in 4th spot. She'll have to wait 27.13. Good race, that.
Very good. Crowd have had a treat tonight, haven't they? Some wonderful racing. Even the heats have been nice and tight and close, and it's quite nice to see the new athletes coming through, the youngsters who are providing something different, because we see some of those athletes who we know are going to do well, but it's nice to see the unknown X factor and just what will happen.
The fun thing about the World Champs after a Paralympic Games is that a lot of athletes will invest in their young athletes, and they'll give athletes a chance because they know that you can't just send someone to the World Championships and expect them to perform right off the bat. And the thing is, when you send out these young athletes like Lana Sutton and you give them a stage and you give them a chance, sometimes what they produce surprises everybody. And all of the countries at the moment, as soon as one Paralympic cycle is finished, they are already thinking about the next one. And I have to say, Australia in particular, every heat I see these young athletes who you have to remember are going to be perfectly placed in terms of age and experience come Brisbane 2032.
Yeah, there's been a load of 14, 15, 16, 17-year-olds, hasn't there, for the Australians that are coming through. It's nice to see, and they're getting plenty of experience from it because they'll stand them in good stead in years to come. They know what they're up against. They see what they've got to achieve. It's great for them.
Part 2 of the women's 200-meter T38 rounds. And in this heat, we have the new world champion in the 100 meters, 16-year-old Angie Mejia. Gold on her champ debut. Speaking of new and incoming youngsters, beating her teammate and world record holder who we saw in the previous heat, Palameke. And she has come fresh off a silver medal in the long jump. And I do mean fresh, as in that was literally an hour ago. Goncharova in lane 5, Margarita Goncharova, a name synonymous with this category. in Doha 2015, she took home 4 gold medals from the World Championships. A bit of a legend in this sport. In lane 6 for Germany, Linda Ave, 27-year-old, won the gold in Tokyo in the 400 meters. She was bronze in Paris, and she's doing the 2 400-meter double here. Speaking of young Australians, Layla Sharp, she is one of 5 Indigenous teenagers representing Australia here. Kathy Freeman is her idol, and maybe, just maybe, she will get a chance to recreate that moment in Brisbane 2032. Going in lane 8 for Greece, Lyda Manthopoulou. Just 20 years old, still very new to the international scene and already making a splash, finishing 3rd in the 100 meters already here. She has a family filled with both athletes and artists. And in lane number 9, rounding out this field, Luca Eckler. She's already taken the long jump world title with 2 world records in the process. She's also known as a fantastic sprinter, particularly in the longer sprints, the 200 and the 400. Now, the 200 meters is not a Paralympic event. This event only gets run at the World Championships. And that's why the athletes really enjoyed a chance to do something a little bit different. Running the bend, very different to just running in a straight line. Mejia in 1, Mejia in 4, Goncharova in 5, Ave in 6. Sharp in 7, Manthopoulou in 8, and Eckler in 9. And it is a solid start across the field. You can just see there Manthopoulou already making up distance on Eckler. Eckler not necessarily known for her sprint start, but watch for her to come through in the closing stages. But coming off that bend, look how far Mejia is. We already knew she could run the straight. She's run a fantastic bend and set herself up so well for this race. Also watch Eckler come through. In the end, having a casual look around, top 3 going in that heat. Mejia took that, and I think it was Manthopoulou in 2nd, followed by Eckler. And you can see there, wow, actually Manthopoulou coming through with a personal best in 26:31. Perhaps Mejia put on the brakes a little bit too early. She also came away with a personal best of 26:37. However, she was slowing down, this just being a heat. She had already guaranteed her spot in that final. And Luca Eckler, known for her top end speed, coming through with that final qualification mark. Now the top 3 going through in each heat. Just 2 fastest qualifiers. And we'll just wait to confirm whether or not Ave and Goncharova, who finished 4th and 5th in that heat, will make it.
Yeah, I think Mejia just pulled up at the end there. She had a look and she knew she was so far ahead that it didn't matter, because she knew that the top 3 go through. And if she'd have pulled up the brakes anymore, she'd have been going backwards. She knew brake pads after that one. Did it easy, didn't she? Even though she was in 2nd place, doesn't matter, she goes through.
I think big maturity shown there from the 16-year-old Mejia, knowing she just needs to do enough she can save herself. Manthopoulou taking the first automatic qualifying spot in that heat, worth a personal best, and a personal best also from Mejia in 2nd, and Eckler taking that 3rd auto spot, and both fastest qualifiers coming from this heat. Ave and Goncharova getting through to that final.
Here we are, men's javelin throw F38 final. We joined proceedings after they're just underway not too long ago. Levin Moreno, the third of the Colombians who are going in this. One of them is the Paralympic and World Champion. So at the moment, as we just joined it then, that was the second throw for Levin Moreno. 42.92 with his first, 42.59, that one there. Leading the way is Jose Lemos in first place, the Paralympic and World Champion. We'll get back to that in a moment or two's time. That there is Czechia's Petr Vratil. 37.97 with his opener for Vratil, who was 7th in the Paralympic Games last year in this event. His lifetime best, 46.16, nowhere near that at the moment. Season best with his opener, 37.97. His best before that was 2 centimetres shy of what that was. He's actually improved his season best, 40.72. And here is the man who is in the lead. Gold in Kobe last year, gold in Paris the year before. He's the Parapan American Games champion and 2-time Paralympic champion. And that is why. 53.99 with his opener. He holds the world record. That marks 63.81. That was set in Paris last year at the Paralympics. On the track, men's 5,000 metres, T13 is the next event up. A field of 12 who are going in this one. Yassine Adadi El Atabi, the Paralympic and World Champion, is not here at these games. There are 4 T13s in this. It is classified as a T13 event, and 8 T12s who are going. John Lakady is a T13, the Kenyan who was 6th last year. He says a final kick failed him in that event to get a medal. Jared Clifford was disqualified at the Paralympics in this event. He's already taken bronze in the 1500 metres here at these championships. He won gold back in 2019 in this event in Dubai. So there is the man we've seen a bit of already here. He was 9th in the 1500, the Ecuadorian, who was 4th last year, Sixto Mureta. Portuguese, Isaias Gomez. He's a T12 athlete, but he's running without a guide. T12s can run with a guide if they want to. You can see 2 athletes there who are running with guides. Mureta Creel was one of them. Abdelhadi Boudra, who was 5th here in the 1500 metres in the past few days. He's also a T12. John Oliveira da Silva of Brazil. 6th in the 1500 metres. Another T12. Alexander Kostin has elected to run with the guide. Yuri Klopstov with him. Self-medalist in the Paralympic Games last year, Kostin. Bronze medalist at the Worlds last year in Kobe. Nabil Mahebla. He was in the 1500 metres as well. Finished 10th. The man from Jordan. From the Philippines, 22 years of age. Cyril Onkoy. Seventh in the 1500 metres. Jonas Oriemia of Uganda. And here's a story for you coming up here. Michael Whitaker, first major championship. He's an Auckland-based former catwalk model, and he took up running during the COVID lockdown. And all of a sudden, here he is at the World Para-Athletics Championships, coached by Vaughan Craddock. Guillaume Houlet, bronze medalist in Paris in 2023 at the Worlds. He won gold back in Doha in 2015, silver in London in 2017. He is furthest out as they get underway in a moment or two's time. So he's the T13, the least of the visual impairment, but there are 8 T12s amongst them. So away they go, and as you would expect, Jared Clifford there just tries to get out in front, but he's just been boxed back on the inside by the Portuguese, Gomez. As they move around the first bend there, it's Houlet who had gone out in front. And then all of a sudden, Macable has taken the lead. Jared Clifford just sitting there behind. Macable has gone out. He did this as well in the 1500, did Macable, and then it ended in tears. So let's just see what happens in the 5,000 metres and see what he can do from there. But after a lap or so, Steph, he's opened up a lead of around 10 or 15 metres, but there is a long, long way to go.
Yeah, that is a big lead this far at the start, and we saw that Houlet was very interested in going to the front. He wanted to be the front, and then maybe just backed off and thought, you know what, this is going at a bit of a silly pace at the moment. And you're right, 5,000 is a long way to go out there all by yourself. But perhaps Macable he's looking around and he's saying, where's everybody? Where are you guys? But perhaps this is part of his strategy. If you were looking at a 5,000 meters and you know that there are other athletes back there with great closing speed in the 1,500, your best bet is to run it out of your legs. Perhaps this is his attempt to do that.
I'm wondering whether he was actually looking at his coaching staff then, or someone there saying that I know I'm not slowing down, I'm going to stay as I am here. It's interesting as well, but it's been the 5,000 metre event in the T13. Those who are running with the guides, a couple of them with guides there, as we saw in Costin and Moretta, there is an opportunity to switch a guide as they go further around. So on the far side of the course, in the straight, down the back end of the straight there, they can change guides as they go through. Of course, they are tethered, so the tether would have to make sure it's maintained as the athlete goes from one guide to another. That's a story for another day. We'll see what happens with that. As it is at the moment, it's still Macable who leads from Jordan, and he is out in front of Jared Clifford, who's in second position, just tracking him nicely at the moment, and Portugal's Isaias Gomez is there as well. But the rest of the field, I don't think they're too bothered at the moment. There's a bunch of them behind. It's about 10 metres it's down to now. I think they're just quite happy at the moment that Macable has decided to go out in front, and they've got someone who they can track along the way there. Yeah, I'll tell that story about Michael Whitaker, who was is a former catwalk model. He's studying a PhD in English literature. So if you want to earn yourself a few quid on the side, you can become a catwalk model and you can run as well at the same time. It's never going to happen to me. It's too late for that. Macable leads when they come down, and they'll have 10 laps left to run in the men's 5,000 metres T13 final.
While you were just speaking there about Michael Whitaker, he almost went down. He got caught up just in the athlete in front of him. Both of them had a little bit of a stumble, but fortunately everybody still on your feet. And this being a T12, T13 combined event, having those extra guides, those extra bodies in the mix does add for a little bit of a different dynamic. Of course, the T12s are entitled to have that guide they needed as their eyes, but at the same time, it does mean that they are very awkward to pass, because you have now two bodies that you need to get around instead of just one. If they're taking out lanes 1 and 2, you're having to go all the way around to lane number 3. And you know, it's a little bit like having a bit of a bodyguard on your shoulder, giving you just a little bit of space, making sure that you stay on your feet.
Yeah, it's very interesting that Macable has decided to go out in front and maintain that lead. It's an interesting story too about John McCady. I said a little bit of it beforehand, the Kenyan. He thinks a final kick failed him when he finished in 6th position at the Paris Paralympics last year. He's taken 8th in the 1500 metre. He was 4th in Kobe last year in this event. So I think for him, perhaps we may see an early run at the end if he has an opportunity to make sure that he doesn't lose himself in that final kick, because he has spoken about it. So it's now a case of seeing whether he can actually get along with that and do it at time. I can tell you that Cyril Ongoy has been dropped off the back, the man from the Philippines. He's a good 50 or 60 metres behind that group you see there on your screen at the moment. That's a lovely shot out in front of Macable, who's just taking them down that back straight there. And he still maintains the lead at 10 metres. Jared Clifford, he's like a fox in the background is Jared Clifford. He just holds on. Macable looks like he's really enjoying himself as well, putting his hand up in the air, almost trying to get the crowd down that end to really get behind him. It looks like in the corner there, where the volunteers are, they're cheering him on as he goes around. And that's the corner where he was actually putting his hand up before. So for him, it's quite nice to give him a bit of motivation on that far side.
He was definitely giving a thumbs up to someone. As you said, maybe just letting people know, hey guys, it's fine. I know I'm out in the lead. I know everybody's going to think this is a bad idea, but I totally have this. But I do think that the rest of the field at the moment is quite happy to let Macable take this on and act as their pacemaker.
Well, they've got just under 8 laps to go. So there is a fair distance to go, and he's down to, leads down to about 5 metres at the moment, is Macable. He had got out there to about 20 or 30 metres there at one point, but it's going to be the case here. It's become very tactical, hasn't it? That what's going to happen is someone's going to have to make a move at some point, and you can see this actually staying as it is pretty much the whole way down to near the end. And I'll tell you who looks quite comfortable in there is the man who took silver last year. He's got a guy with him, Alexander Costin, in 4th position there, just behind the Portuguese Isaiah Gomez. Costin looks very comfortable in that position. He's an experienced athlete. He's a European champion from Big Gosh back in 2021. He's silver last year. He's taken a couple of bronzes as well at World Championships and Paralympic Games, and he looks in a solid position at the moment, and his guide will be talking to him as he goes through. So the lead has been cut down. Macable now, he hasn't been swamped, but he's gasping a little bit at the front there, and I do expect at some point that Jared Clifford or someone else will make a move and go past. But they're all looking nice and bunched at the moment. Sixto Murrieta, the Ecuadorian, who was 4th last year at the Paralympics, with his guide, he's just sitting at the back. And that's probably a sensible move, because with a guide there, you don't want to be clipping anyone or maybe catching up with someone as you go around the edge and just fall in there. So at this stage, a sensible move. Same man leads as we started. It is the same order from the very get-go. It is Macable leading from Clifford and Gomez of Australia and Portugal, respectively.
Now, someone we haven't mentioned yet, and partly because he's been at the back of the pack this whole time, Guillaume Ouellette of Canada. Now, he is a former world champion, and he is always hovering around the medal table, and actually he's at the back of the pack right now, and just as I've said that, he started making a move. He is the athlete in the red, and you get a sense that he's suddenly starting to think, okay, I am pretty far back. Even if I wanted to make a move, I've currently got a good 15 to 20 meters just to get to the front of that pack. So already he's starting to think about how he is going to extract himself from that situation. The problem is there's a lot of bodies there right now, almost running into the back of the Ugandan. And he actually has a really interesting story. He started running as soon as he found out that he had an eye condition, and his original goal, this is actually really funny, his original goal was to be able to run a 10 kilometers in under 40 minutes. And my goodness, he has absolutely smashed that, considering he can run 5K in under 15, 14:23, his personal best.
Yeah, there's a difference, isn't there, between 10K doing that and under 40 minutes doing 5K. In the time he does it in now, in 14:23, 24 is his lifetime best. So, yeah, he picked a good sport, and he looks very confident there. And I think, actually, at this stage, with some of those athletes, it's a pretty sedate pace, in fairness. So I think some of them will be quite happy that they can conserve a bit of energy as they're all bunched up, and then use it towards the end. So when they come round, they'll have, 5 laps remaining when they come back around. So 2K to go. The push may be on. And from there, who knows, Jared Clifford, he might fancy himself soon to go towards the front. The question is, if someone goes to the front, who's going to be the one that goes with them, and who's going to make a move at that time to try and go out? Because if you go too early, some people can't do that and manage the pace as they go through. So we shall see, because at the moment it is just maintained as we've gone through, and we'll come down now with 5 laps remaining, and it is still Macabre who leads at the front with just under 2 kilometres of this men's 5,000 metres T13 race remaining here.
And we should just clarify that when we say sedate, we mean sedate for them. These men still are motoring, but you're exactly right. Right now, they are going at a pace that is very, very much within their zone. I would say that they're not building up any sort of lactic in their muscles at the moment. And so if this continues as it is, well, we were talking about if this continues, big if, because a move has already been made.
Well, Macabre has just gone for a drink. He wants a drink, and he was saying that from the front. But what's happened, as he's pushed out and gone across, and remember this is a visual impairment category, as he's pushed across, he's almost taken out the Kenyan Lekedi and also the Ugandan in Oriema. So he's managed to get through there and get himself a drink. Perhaps he should have thought about that and maybe got across there a bit quicker beforehand. As it is, he's now dropped back to 6th place. And out in front is Clifford, who's sitting just behind. It is the Brazilian there in Oliveira da Silva, who was 6th in the 1,500 metres last year. Oh, sorry, I should say this year at these championships, and he's gone to the front now. So change of put, and Macabre is now, well, he's really gasping. He's dropped back further in the field.
Yeah, I was really worried there for a moment. It was like a bowling ball got set off among a bunch of pins. And don't forget, these are visually impaired athletes. They can't quite track those quick movements there. But we were saying who's going to get antsy, who is going to make the first move. Oliveira da Silva has decided, okay, guys, this is way too sedate. I need to ramp this up now and start taking the sting out of some of the faster sprinters in the back of that pack.
Cyril Ongoy of the Philippines has just been lapped down there, so everyone has gone past him. So he has 1 lap behind everyone else. But well, I'm just watching Jared Clifford, the Australian. He even when people have gone past, he's quite happy to stay there. Now he does have a bit of a kick at the end, and he's good over those long distances, having done marathons as well. So he would be very comfortable in how that he's actually approaching this race. So he doesn't want to go to the front. He's more than happy to sit 2nd, 3rd, 4th and just watch what's going on in front of him. And from there, he can track any move. Now, the good thing about this race for those athletes here is when they're in single file, there's no getting boxed in on the inside. As I say that, Clifford decides to move into 2nd place, and now he's tracking Oliveira out in front. And Costin's guide in 5th place there has just sort of moved him towards the outside a little bit, and perhaps the neutral para-athlete in Alexander Costin, who was a silver medalist last year, is going to make a move, and he has done just that around the outside. You don't want to be in that position for too long, though, running 2 or 3 lanes wide when you've got a guide, because it does chew up a lot of energy.
It does, and a lot of distance. If you are covering one of these laps in lane 2, you are adding an additional 7 meters to every single lap. But you can now sense there's a little bit of antsiness going on at the moment. Everyone's realizing, okay, these laps are ticking down and I want to be in the right position. And the question everybody has to ask themselves now is, okay, do I want to react to someone else's move, or do I want to be the one who makes the move?
Well, Oliveira there has just moved through quickly because Costin tried to go around the outside. He didn't want to get boxed in. He went again, but Costin and his guide have gone again. They have made a move. When they come down, they'll have 2 laps remaining. So this has turned into an 800-meter race. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 athletes now. 6 people there, including the guide. But Costin and his guide, they look strong before. I mentioned that. They have gone. And Jared Clifford at the back of that group, who's in 5th place, looks like he's struggling a little bit as well. Dropped off the back there. Jonas Oriema of Uganda is about 20 metres further back now. And it is Alexander Costin who's out in front. And he's motoring there. It's Boudra, who is behind him, the Algerian. So Boudra, who was 5th here in the 1,500 metres, is just holding on there behind Costin and tracking. And then a little bit further back, the rest of them are doing their best to get through.
And you can see Costin made the move there. Now the thing is, this has to be a long run for home for them. There is absolutely no point in making that move and then slowing down. They want to keep pushing. They want to keep pressing. They are doing their best to lose Boudra, but he's not going anywhere.
Well, Boudra's got a lifetime best of 15:06, and he's just stuck with him. We haven't mentioned his name until about 30 seconds ago because he was just sitting in the pack. But now he's tracking Costin and his guide. Now, could that be a slight difference as they take the bell that Costin with the guide will have a bit of extra work to do, and the guide was going to need to stay with him. The thing for Boudreaux now is he's going to have to get around the outside of not just one, but two athletes. Lacady, he said last year that he left his run late in Paris. He stepped back in third position. He's doing his best to catch up, but at the moment the bronze medal looks like the best he can do. But look at Costin out in front. He looks supremely confident. He's dropping Boudreaux further behind him. Boudreaux's really starting to struggle somewhat and tighten up. But it's Alexander Costin and his guide, Yuri Klopstov. He took silver at the Paralympic Games last year. He took bronze in Kobe at the World Para-Athletics Championships beforehand. Klopstov talking away to him. He's the European champion for 4 years ago when we had the last Europeans in Bydgoszcz in Poland. He's about 30 metres out in front. He's just going to go across the line first, and he will become the world champion. Men's 5,000 metres, T13 winner. Boudreaux comes in second place. Lacady is really struggling at the back. Lacady's not going to get there in third place. Oliveira has realised he's going to get there. Lacady's not got there. It's Oliveira at third, and Lacady has just fallen across the line. There he is. Clifford takes fifth. It was a season best for Costin in first place. Well, Lacady said he left his run late last year, too late. This year, he couldn't hold on for the bronze medal. He was swamped by Jean Oliveira. 10 metres from the line, he fell across it, did Lacady. Couldn't quite get there, the Kenyan, but it's a season best for Alexander Costin, the neutral para-athlete. Algeria take the silver through Boudreaux, and it's Brazil again amongst the medals as Jean Oliveira picks up a bronze medal. But there is your champion, Alexander Costin.
There are two types of middle distance runners. You have the runners that wait and see and look around and are ready to react what the other runners do. However, there's also the type of runner that thinks, no, I am going to be the one who makes the move. And that was definitely Costin and his guide, Klopstov. They took that race on from just over 800 meters out. They pushed the pace. They went to the front. They were patient in terms of going to the front. They had to try twice. They couldn't quite get around, and they played it exactly right. People tried to stay with them, and they were just too fast. Boudreaux trying so hard to hang on, but I will remember Lacady going across that line. I mean, to watch a performance where you can visually see that an athlete has completely unloaded themselves, that is special to witness.
Yeah, he tightened up, didn't he? With about 40 metres to go, he was all of a sudden, with his arms and legs, going absolutely everywhere. Jared Clifford gives him congratulations all around. He couldn't come up with anything towards the end, even though he was tracking in third position for most of that time. But poor old John Lacady, he's out of the medals. A season best for him, though. The Ecuadorian flags are flying. Colombian even. That's because we've got plenty of action in the javelin. We'll talk about that in a moment or two's time, because Colombia are well on top in that. But Alexander Costin, when he did go to the front, well, Mark, we have to make a comment about Mark, though. He had absolute great race. He enjoyed himself. He almost caused an incident as he was went for a drink there. He went through, and there, that could have been your gold medalist there, who could have gone over, because his guide almost went. In fairness to his guide, he hopped, skipped and jumped and got himself into a position so he didn't fall over. So Muckenblatt almost caused an incident. He didn't in the end. Costin gets across the line for the gold medal win. So victory there. Take your shoes off, you deserve to, Sunshine. I'm exhausted watching it. Two athletes went with the guide. A mixture of T12s and T13s, and that men's 5,000 metres T13 final. And Yuri Klopstov did a wonderful job with Alexander Costin to help him home to a season best. Who cares about that? It's all about the gold medal. That's what he's picked up. Boudreaux with the silver, and John Oliveira with the bronze medal. Men's 5,000 metres T13 final. Still loads happening with the field events at the moment. We'll bring you up to date with that very shortly indeed.
Now I'll give you a quick word of the men's shot put F20 final. We've seen a bit of it. We're deep into it. We're into round 5 now, and it's Ukraine 1 and 2. This is the man in the bronze medal position, Mohamed Zayed Zulkefli, who's done it all before. He's in the bronze medal position, but it's Ukraine 1 and 2, Yarovi 1, and this man, Maxim Koval, is in second position. 17:28 is best attempt. That in the opening round, and that might be around the same mark. So Yarovli has gone out to a world record, 17:73, with his third attempt. Koval second, 17:28. Zakevli only 2 centimeters behind, playing massive catch-up. Koval 17:52, an improvement, but he stays in second position.
Just a quick one from that men's 5,000 metres T13 final. There's a disqualification. Sixto Mureta has been disqualified from that race, so he finishes the bottom of the pile, and Cyril Onkoy did not finish.
They're well matched, the top 3. Yarovli coming now. The world record in claiming gold in Paris last year, 17:61, that was the mark, and now that world record has been broken. So here he comes. It's another deep one, solidly beyond 16 meters. 17:73, gold medal mark for Yarovli. This is round 5. It's a no throw, a red flag. Koval, the bronze medalist last year, now lying in second, and Zakevli, who won silver in Paris, dropping back to third. He had led early on with a 17:26, but unable to add on to it. But still, one more round to go. Thrillingly, the final of the women's 100 meters, T63. In lane 2 for Japan, Miyagawa. 7th in the long jump here, Asian Games silver. In lane 3 for the United States, 6th the 100 meters final in Paris at the Paralympics last year from Spokane in Washington, the former gymnast Lindy Markison. In lane 4 for Great Britain, 4th in the 100 meters final, the dramatic final last year. Ididikame Oko, Criminology and Law student at University in Birmingham, coached by Tony Hadley, trying to inspire her to a medal. In 5 for Indonesia, the world champion from last year. Second time she claimed it, silver in the dramatic final a year ago for Charisma Tirani. Southeast Asian Games champion too she is. Lena Kratter claiming silver in the long jump here for the second time. 5th in the Paralympic 100 meters final. She's in 6th for Switzerland. The woman who almost won it last year. Again, she was the defending Paralympic 100 meters champion. Crashed into her teammate Contrafato and went down, and Caroni took the gold. 2023 world champion Ambra Sabatini. In lane 8 for the United States, bronze in the long jump here. 4th in the 100 meters final in Dubai in 2019, Noelle Lambert-Byrne. And in lane 9 for Japan, silver in the 1 and the long jump in last year's world championship in Kobe, and in the Asian Games in 2018 for Tomomi Tadzawa. Paralympic champion Martina Caroni has since retired. Contrafato too. The door is open for a new champion, or maybe the old champion, to come back from 2021 and 2023, Ambra Sabatini, in this T63 final. Single above knee. Maegawa in 2, Marcus in 3, Oko 4, Tirani, the world champion in 5, Kratos 6, Sabatini, the former world Paralympic champion 7, Lambert Bairn 8, Tozawa in 9. The final of the women's 100 meters, T63. They're away first time. Little bit of a wobble from Sabatini as usual. Tirani is away to a brilliant start. And here comes Oko for Great Britain. It's Ndidi Oko on the way. And Sabatini is lining up. Sabatini's going to do it again. A second world title. Tirani second, Oko third. Kratos 4. 14:37. And the last standing member of Charlie's Angels rules again. Her third global 100 meters title, and it means a lot as she grabs the crown that was denied her in the most dramatic finish possible on the line at the Stade de France last year. A championship record for Tirani as a T42, but a sensational win for Sabatini, who came well from the back to claim the gold again. Forza Italia.
Now you have to fully understand the backstory for Sabatini to know why this means so much for her. She absolutely stormed onto the scene at the Tokyo Paralympics, taking the gold as a teenager. But it's been tough. The past 2 global outings, absolute devastation in Paris as she tripped just before the line. She thought she was going to win gold. She came out last night so excited for her long jump debut and had that awful experience of just struggling on the runway and getting a no measure. However, she came back again tonight, and look at that. Look at how far down she is. Such a fantastic start there from Oko. And yet she was able to hold her nerve, hold that concentration. You can see everybody there cheering her on, and just that top end speed bringing her through at the end. That is a real victory, a real message in terms of what perseverance and keep coming back even though things aren't going your way. There's always another opportunity, and she has taken that one.
It was a great race. The amazing finish when she stumbled. It was going to be in Italy 1-2-3 last year, just as it had been in Tokyo 4 years ago. And then it wasn't. But Sabatini gets the gold here, and that means the world to her. Back on the top step of the podium. Tirani, silver for Indonesia, as it was last year in Paris. She is dethroned then as world champion. And Ndidi Oko for Great Britain of Birchfield Harriers, coached by Tony Hadley. It's bronze. Kratos so close, ending up in 4th spot. Sabatini the gold for Italy. Tirani the silver for Indonesia. Oko the bronze for Great Britain. Kratos 4, so close, edged out by 400s. Lambert Bairn 5, Marcus in 6. That was a super race. And Ambra Sabatini, you have to hand it to her. She was determined that she would be the champion. She has had 12 months to think about that every single day, potentially. But once more, she is the numero uno. Oko for a while was leading that, and it looked like she was going to head to gold. But Sabatini, she's the woman. She's the best, and that's a point to prove from last year when she feels she would have won, but for one of the most astonishing finishes we've ever seen to a major championship final, where 2 of the top 3 went down right on the line. Contrafatto did get over the line to pick up a medal in that in the end, but the emotions have spilled out. And this is as much about the Paralympic final last year as tonight. Ambra Sabatini has proven that she is the best. Wonderful contest, crowd pleading stuff, definitely. You saw the Swiss fans so excited they thought Krater might have just been able to come through for her first global 100 meters medal. Her first global track medal. She won silver in the 100 back in the Euros in 2021. Men's shot put F20 continuing. And this is our champion, Alexander Yurovi. The world record 17.73. Koval could not overtake him in this final round. So Kevli gets the bronze, and Alexander Yurovi is about to do it again. Bronze in Paris at the Worlds 2 years ago, followed up with gold at the Stade de France. A red flag means nothing, because his own one is going to be raised to the top. The reigning European champion, the reigning Paralympic champion, now has the full set, as he's the world champion. He stayed upright throughout, apart from there, and Yurovi takes the crown. It's Ukraine 1 and 2. He's broken the world record in order to do it. Koval came within 9 centimeters of the old mark. Yurovi added 12 onto his record from the Paralympics a year ago. Impressive stuff.
Second last track, final of the evening, women's 100 meters, T11. Paralympic and world champion, Cardoza Gebert of Brazil goes in this one in lane 7. So this being complete visual impairment, guides are compulsory. Linda Perez, whose sister Alejandra we saw a little while ago. Paralympic champion in Tokyo 2020 was Linda Perez. Liu Yiming in lane 3, 19-year-old, her first world major championship, lifetime best in the heat. Alba Garcia, bronze in the long jump last year at the Paralympic Games. She was silver in Big Gosh back in 2021 at the European Championships. The reigning Paralympic champion in both the 100 and the 200 metres. 17 global championship medals for Cardoza Gebert of Brazil. World champion, golds in 2019 in Dubai and last year in Kobe. So the start will take a little while longer because of the tether the guides have to attach, which is around 50 centimetres. That's after the athletes have been put into their starting blocks. And this is one of the toughest events you could imagine. Blindfolded to make sure that those patches are covered over as well. It has to happen in the T11, and you have to have complete and utter faith in your guide. There is no right or wrong as far as what side the guide goes on, as long as the athlete is happy with whichever they decide. Ready to go. And they jump, no issues there at all, getting away really well indeed. In lane number 3 was Liu Yiming, but flying down the outside is the reigning world and Paralympic champion, Cardoza Gebert. Let's just look at the time, it's 11:79. So that, for me, is a new championship record. I think it's also a world record as well, just inside. It's just outside, they've rounded it up to 11 81, so it's a championship record. Originally it was inside that world record as well, but it doesn't matter. Championship record in gold for Haruza Geber. Liu Yiming, 19 years of age, has picked up a world silver. She got off to a brilliant start, but that lady there, the last 50 metres was all power and all pace. What a run. Breaking a championship record that has been there for the last 14 years. She holds the world record already, setting that last year in Paris when she took gold in the Paralympics. But she's now got the championship record as well, taking it from Teresina Guglielmina, her compatriot from Christchurch back in 2011. An absolutely stunning run. She's now a 3-time world champion.
That championship record from Guilhermina standing since January 2011. We don't normally see records last that long at the para-athletics, but that's how good it was, and that is how good Geber dos Santos was tonight. Now, I was a little bit worried for Liu when she came out. She was wearing what looks to be like some sort of back or lumbar or core support. However, she still managed to come out delivering an absolutely blistering start and performing with a new personal best. Now just look at Liu there, and then look on the outside. Geber dos Santos, the difference between her and the other athletes is that her acceleration phase continued while the others were maxed out. They say that your speed goes the older you get, but those studies, that science, they forget that they're applying to that they don't necessarily apply to outliers. These are physical specimens, all of the athletes that we see at the World Championships, and just another mention for the fantastic teamwork there. I mean, controlling your own limbs at maximum speed is hard enough. Now, imagine being attached to an entirely different person and having to work in sync together when you are on the maximum, you are on the edge of your speed, power, and control. It is just, it's a crazy, wild event when you think about it, to think that you are being told to run flat out, trusting another person.
And we've mentioned it before, but we should mention it again in case you're new to it. The reason there's a male guide is because a lot of the time they can't find females who can stick with them. They're that fast. Teresa Geber, then a 3-time world champion to add to her Paralympic gold last year. Championship record. Liu Yiming, lifetime best, taking a silver at 19 years of age. Alba Garcia, a lifetime best for her, the bronze. And the gold medalist from Tokyo 2020, a season best for Linda Perez, but she misses out on the medals here. Just a quick update as well on the men's javelin throw F38 final. We saw a little bit of it before. The reason you saw those Colombian flags before is because Jose Lemos, who is the Paralympic and world champion, took gold in that ahead of his compatriot Villegas with a season best, and Bilyi of Ukraine, a season best for him, taking the bronze medal. It was a championship record for Jose Lemos, so he adds another world championship title to his name. He's also the shot put world champion. He won gold at the past 2 Paralympics. He's won gold at the past 2, now 3 World Para-Athletics Championships, and he also is the Pan American Games champion from 2023 in Chile as well. So the field action is all wrapped up, in effect. We just have a little matter of a women's 100 metres T64 final.
And this is it. Achievers all, with the reigning European World and Paralympic champion and world record holder Fleur Young. The Pan Am champion B Hats alongside her. The European World Paralympic 200 meters gold medalist Marlene van Ganser-Winkel. Marissa Papaconstantinu as well. A big candidate. What a field. So, silver in the 200 meters in last year's Worlds in Kobe, that held by Sydney Barter. She goes in lane 2, gold in the 2, silver in the 1 in the Pan Ams 2 years ago in Santiago. She's got a chance World Junior Champion she's been. In lane 3 for Switzerland, 5th in the 1 in last year's Paralympic final. She's been 4th in the Worlds before for Switzerland, Abasia Rahmani. The woman they call the Gazelle. In lane 4 for the Netherlands. The Paralympic double champion in Tokyo, the 1 and the 2, Marlene van Ganser-Winkel, the reigning 200 meters world champion. In lane 5 for the United States, bronze in the 2 in last year's Worlds in Kobe. She's the reigning Pan Am champion over 100 and bronze in the long jump at the Paralympics in Paris. It's B. Hatz. The best around right now goes in lane 6. The reigning European, world and Paralympic champion in this and the long jump, Fleur Jong. In lane 7 for the Netherlands, 4th in the World Championship final last year in Kobe. Twice in a row it's happened. She doesn't want a hat trick. The woman from Roosendaal, Kiki Hendricks. In lane 8 for Canada, 4th in the 2 in the Paralympic Games, but bronze before that in Tokyo. Bronze in the 1 and the 2 in Paris 2 years ago. Marissa Papaconstantinou. And in lane 9 for Spain, 7th in the 200 meters at last year's Paralympic Games, the first World Championships for Fiona Pinar. So Spain, Canada, the Netherlands have 3 in it. They did the clean sweep last year in Paris, and Fleur Jong took the gold. Kimberly Alcamada Mas, the silver, now retired. Looking for the next generation of talent. Marlene van Ganser-Winkel got the bronze. The door is open for new legends to be created. It could be B. Hatz, looking for her first global 100 meters medal. T64 it is. That's the single. Fleur Jong, the double. The T62, she holds a world record of 12:02. T64 world record is Kimberly Alcamada Mas, 12:46. Barter 2, Rahmani 3, Van Ganser-Winkel 4, Hatz 5, Jong 6, Hendricks 7, Papaconstantinou 8. Fiona Pinar of Spain in lane 9, the final of the women's 100 meters, T64. And they're away first time. Good start that is by Hatz and Van Ganser-Winkel. Jong hasn't got going yet, but Jong is getting going now. And it's Jong against Van Ganser-Winkel. Fleur Jong's going to do it. Jong and Van Ganser-Winkel. Papaconstantinou. Brilliant, brilliant, brilliant win by Fleur Jong. She gets the victory. She is the world champion again. It's another magnificent crown. 12:29 is the winning time. The Dutch have got it together again with a fine 1-2. And it looked to me that Papaconstantinou got the bronze. 12:29 for Jong, 12:86 for Van Ganser-Winkel. Another major championship silver medal for the former Paralympic champion. It was tight for 3. Papaconstantinou was moving up very well in the end. And B. Hatz looked to have been run out of it. Papaconstantinou gets the bronze, and Hatz, who was right up there for a good bit, just faded. 5th for her, and it is a 3rd consecutive 4th place for Kiki Hendricks. There is no Dutch clean sweep tonight, but Fleur Jong is still top of the pile.
Fleur Jong is taking what's possible for Blade runners to new heights, just rewriting the world records every single year, and you can see why. I don't even want to talk over it right now, but the way that she has developed that action, and don't forget, she didn't start at the top. She's worked really, really hard on this running style, on this setup, particularly her starts. Now, Marlene van Ganser-Winkel, I can say, I've been in the gym with her. She is one of the strongest women you will meet. She is always going to be solid, but Marissa Papaconstantinou, now she is known for being a really, really great starter, and she didn't get a great start here. But my goodness, the way she hauled herself through that field, That was impressive, and again, just a reminder, you don't need perfection to do well. You just have to work with what you have. She knew she was back. She kept her head. She wasn't straining. She trusted that she was going to have that speed when she needed it. What a fantastic podium there.
It's a 5th World Championship gold for Fleur Young, a 3rd in the 100 meters, a couple in the long jump as well. For the 3-time Paralympic champion. Vanganza-Winkel, who'd taken gold in the 1 and the 2 back in Tokyo 4 years ago. Silver for Vanganza-Winkel. A Dutch 1-2 this time instead of the 1-2-3. Young gold, Vanganza-Winkel silver, and Marissa Papakonstantinou gets the bronze, and that is her 4th World Championships medal. Hendricks just ran out of it, and Hatz, I'm afraid, just fell back. She was in contention, certainly for a silver, but 5th for the American here. Pinar 6, Romani 7, Barta 8. Another great T64 100 meters final. It's a category that always delivers. Brazil with their 8th title, and the Netherlands here with their 4th through Young, and that silver also through Milena Vanganza-Winkel. 30 medals for Brazil, 8 gold, China with 7, Poland 6, India going brilliantly in the javelins. The last couple of nights, 4 golds for them. A 2nd gold for Hannah Cockcroft makes it 4 for Great Britain now. And Switzerland, 3 for Catherine de Bruyne, 1 for Marcel Hoog. They've 4 as well, 6 medals in total. Colombia now with 9 medals in total. Ireland with 3. 2 for Orla Comerford, 1 for Greta Stray-Makita. Vanessa Lowe succeeding brilliantly in the long jump. 2 goals for Australia here, another one for Uzbekistan tonight in the field. Germany through Strengen floors last night in the men's equivalent. Lisa Adams doing it again, the shot put for New Zealand. And Diana Dedzite for Latvia, succeeding gloriously in the throws. Peru with their 1st ever championship medals. The gold and the bronze for them. Neri Mamani the gold, Melissa Baldera the bronze. Belgium through Leia Beakula getting the gold. Luca Eckler as well on the mark for Hungary in the long jump. Finland and Portugal with their 1st medals of the week. And 58 nations have hit the podium so far in New Delhi for these World Para-Athletics Championships. What a thrilling end to the night from Will Downing, Tulson Tollett and Steph Reed. A very good evening, and we're past halfway.